above the crowd, with a roar that echoes loud. Phoenix brass with stories bold, writes the tales that must be told. Lead like fire burns through night, pen and voice to make it right. Heroes of the now and then, culture war they fight again. Screechers scream and phoenixes flare, fear and doubt can't find them there. Hilltop can't find them there. They crowd the alleys every night, bringing shadows into light. Every word a spark to flame, legends known by every name. Villains quiver in their dens, screechers cry around the bends. Phoenix writes their final lines, just to serve through their designs. Heroes of the now and then, culture war they fight again. Screechers scream and phoenixes flare, fear and doubt can't find them there. Hilltop can't find them there. Fear and doubt can't find them there.
Pirate noises. Pirate sounds.
Hoist the colors, lads.
Welcome aboard the ship on the Iron Seas. Today, we are joined by a very special guest.
A bat.
Joe is sick, but he's not the guest. Nick Phoenix from the Phoenix Press. Woo!
Yeah.
And yeah, man, so today we'll be talking about the fifth element. AC, what are our subjects for today, my friend?
Well, sir, I'm
what
glad
are
you
they?
asked. The first one is Yas Queens.
Yas?
I know that's one.
Yas.
Queens.
Yes.
What does that even mean?
Yas Queen.
In this context,
Why do you not know what it means, Justin?
What
They're
the heck
very
is even
feminine.
that?
They're
Self-explanatory.
German
Actually,
feminine,
that's a good
what they
question.
are.
Why
We're
does
talking about queens in movies? Is that the idea?
Well,
Wait, Freddie Mercury?
if you want to interpret it, interpret it that way,
I
but
don't
like more
know
like
how to interpret
I just
girl boss it.
saw the list again. Why are we talking about cycles of Apocalypse 2.0?
2.0, man. This is makes sense.
Yeah, we're
It's
going
not
to
the
get
end.
him right
I
this
don't
time.
understand. Normally it's me trying to like pull one over on you guys, not the other way around.
Well, that's the second topic, Kahuna, and the third one
Ugh.
is space operas in general.
We got Space
Which is the
Opera,
best.
Cycles of the Apocalypse 2.0, and
Make
Yas Queens.
Yas
Who
Queen.
put this together? You know what? No,
it was,
I'm
no,
picking the
remember,
subjects.
remember Andy was like, "Hey guys, I need topics," and then he's like 5 minutes later, like, "Wait, no, I got it." And then-
I got
Guys,
it.
can we just cancel the apocalypse already? Can we cancel the apocalypse?
Cycles of the-
You're
absolutely
canceling
not.
no.
The
we're too
apocalypse
white.
is happening, whether we want it or not. Is AC's mic coming in a little scratchy for anyone else?
Yeah.
AC,
Okay.
say something wild.
AC,
What?
Oh,
yeah, leave,
dude, it's
leave, and
effed.
get back in. It's just being StreamYard being funky like it always is.
Check.
Tuesday.
All right. BRB.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this would be a good time for the summary of the movie. The movie that won the poll was the fifth.
We're still in the introduction of people. And
We're not saying hi to
things.
anybody today.
No, I don't care. Do you think I care what you
Screw
think?
you guys.
Actually,
Every
Nick,
time.
you're new. I'll pretend to be nice for you. How are you doing, man? How's your evening? How's life for you?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a good dinner. Been playing some more Mass Effect 2, and
Nice.
just been enjoying life.
That's a good time, man. And that's a good game to be enjoying life with. Honestly,
I'm playing it for the
great
first time. Actually, I got the Legendary Edition. I've been playing through it.
Oh, it's your first time playing through it? Oh man, it's such.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I did the Liar, the whole Liar Shadow Broker mission, and I actually romanced
Oh,
Liar in the first game. She's my girl, and it was kind of bittersweet. I had to part with her again.
That's cool. dude.
We were always who's the chick with like the hood and the glowing eyes?
Oh,
Oh, the ninja girl.
What's her name?
Talia or something.
Talia Vass Norman.
Oh,
right?
Talia.
Yeah,
she's
Talia.
adorable.
Talia was always our girl.
You gotta say it like an Italian, like say it like your ancestors have, Justin.
It's
Talia.
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 You gotta bring in the
Talia.
fingers. You gotta bring in the
El
hands.
Talia. I'm pretty sure that's.
You sounded whiter than you've ever sounded.
El
a second ago.
Talia. I think that's it. Joe
If
can
you gotta
confirm.
talk
Are you
about
wearing an Assassin's
Talia.
Creed hoodie?
Talia, I need some spaghetti to go to meatballs.
Joe
Like
left
Joe's
for a
got
second
the,
and
the
he's very
Ezio hoodie
confused.
on over there. You see that? Right?
So
I will
Joe,
not
you're
stand
feeling
for
healthy
this
and happy.
Italian
How's
racism.
your week going, Joe?
Man, I don't know. I got something. My stomach's messed up, and I got hiccups like 5 minutes before the show, and it won't go away. And it's really annoying. So I'm not happy.
According to anonymous people in the chat, some woman named Seabat, she says it's apparently her fault and that you're blaming her. Who knows?
Yeah, she gave me fries right before the show. She
And fries
came
give you
home late,
hiccups?
gave me
Double
fries,
down!
And the next thing I know, I have hiccups.
I put out the accusation. You could have denied it. You're like, oh, she's just playing. Be like,
How
yeah,
dare
no,
you
she
be-
gave me fries. This is her fault.
How dare you be in a supportive relationship here? How dare your lady be good, be nice to you? How dare you?
Yeah, I think
Hey,
Daniel has the right.
fries
to
were
stop.
half eaten. All right, it's not as
This is
important.
sabotage.
It was half a
You could
thing of
eat
fries.
Maybe if you had eaten all of them, you wouldn't be having a problem. I don't know, man.
Maybe he'd
Some
be
of us
having
are.
no
Some of us
problem.
would
He
love
would
to
not.
have a wife at home cooking meals again. Just saying. Anyway,
I would
so
personally love a wife or a girlfriend to hand me half-eaten fries. Just saying.
we're not going to run that by you again. Justin, how's your
What?
week going, man?
I'm exhausted, dude. It's been busy. It was
You've been busy. Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
massive
baby.
show and stuff. Long days. And I know Joe particularly likes to hear me talk about how tired I am. He likes me to bring that energy and immediately just like pull down the entire show.
I don't believe you.
Anyway,
No, I'm
guys,
tired,
I've
but
had a
the worst is
really
over, so now I can get back to
long
like
week and-
a proper sleep schedule and stuff, and hopefully get back to work on a couple projects that are lingering and outstanding and need attention ASAP.
Obviously,
Yeah.
your projects, right? Obviously.
Real men go to bed at 5 a.m. Just saying.
5 a.m. That's not no. You gotta. I need to be in bed by like 9:30 and get up at 5:30. You're not getting 8
Weak.
hours, man.
That's actually better.
You know,
I mean,
that's
I
it.
do
That's
get
it.
8
I'm
hours.
telling you. Do me a favor. Try going to bed and getting 8 hours of sleep, and just see how you feel after about 2 weeks. You'll be like, I am immortal. I didn't know this was a feeling I could attain, and you'll just be knocking
get
things
8
out left and
hours.
right. Wait. So you go to bed at 9 then? Wait, you go to bed at 5, and get up. Wait, what? I have to get up at like 5-ish to work. I'm so confused.
Some people live differently than you, Justin.
It's
That's
called
I guess so.
having
I
a-
don't
it's called
understand that.
having a better schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do it. I'm not. I'm definitely a morning person, but
AC, if you're able to hop back in, this is a good time. Otherwise, let's say hi to the chat. We got Daniel P. Riley, Seabats, Mr. Tim
Ooh.
McKay, who says he's excited for Cycles of the Apocalypse 2.0. We have
too.
Mr. Brian McCoppin. And let's see, we got Jersey, we got Phoenix Press. You're double dipping, you filthy little. Anyway.
Daniel's
And
actually
Gorilla
the
Ball.
editor on my novel, so I just want to say that he's cool.
Oh, cool. That's cool. I love it, man.
I do.
No, Daniel's everybody's editor. I was trying, but like so many people are so secretive about it. I was trying to like put together a nice video for him when I had him on my show, and then like I couldn't figure out everybody. Like no one was volunteering that they work with him. So
I don't know why.
Yeah,
He's a really nice guy. He's very good at his job. Yes, he is expensive as frick, but he's worth every penny.
I don't think he is expensive actually, depending on what he's doing for you. But it depends. Alas,
I mean, I'm not going to reveal what I paid. I think that's kind of not professional, but you know.
An
Oh,
editor
yeah, for
in
sure,
general
for
is going to be
editing in
expensive.
general is a lot of money.
Yeah.
There are some people out there who will not be named who say you don't need an editor, and I think that person
Those
is
people
pretty-
are wrong.
Yes, I agree. Editors need editors, but alas, here we are.
Who edits the editors?
Other
Daniel
editors.
Riley probably
and,
does actually.
All right, Justin, do you have a rundown of our film? The Fifth
Boy,
Element?
do I. All of them
Boy.
were like a page long or this one, so I went with this one. So we watched The Fifth Element from 1997, directed by Luc Besson. I'm pretty sure is how his name. L-U-C. I think that's Lucky Luke. In the
It's Luke
colorful
Besson.
future, a cab driver unwittingly becomes the central figure in the search for a legendary cosmic weapon to keep evil and Mr. Zorg at bay. That weapon just happens to be a perfect redhead who can only speak gibberish. This movie had a budget of $75 million. It earned $265. That's a box office success. Starts Bruce Willis, Milja Jovovich, Bilbo Bagging, Gary the Old Man, Chris definitely a Tucker, Luke Perry, and Debo from Friday as the president.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so this
Okay,
is the
so-
poll. AC always likes to try to get around the rules as much as possible, but she is technically a redhead, even though it's like
It's orange. It says orange as well. Wait,
Yeah,
is
a
your
lot
shirt
of redheads,
Justin? Is
though,
your shirt
have
orange or red? It
orange
looks
hair.
more.
It's
orange.
orange because Bruce Willis had an orange shirt in the movie, and this is the only short.
Yeah, just
orange
like her
shirt I
hair.
have.
It's not. She wasn't a redhead. That
It's
was a
copper. It's copper, which is a type of red.
Yeah, she would absolutely get thrown into red
I've
the same way a
seen
beige person
copper-headed
is still
people. That
considered
was-
white. It's the same thing.
That was orange, bro. I think
It's
it's. I don't. It
copper.
shouldn't. Fine. Agree to disagree. It should not have qualified. Alas, here we are.
yeah, but I feel like I deny so many, I reject so many of AC's picks all the time. Like,
I
You,
know.
you reject
Anytime he
mine
pitches
too. You
one, I'm
don't
like,
feel bad
ooh.
about those.
Anytime it's iffy, Joe's just like, no.
Well,
I'm like,
Here's the thing. I'm a ginger, and so that's
Oh,
a
get him off the show.
I'm a ginger.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I mean, dude. Look at
Can we
the
get the
frickin'
D?
meter.
Can we get the DI or DEI version of you now? Like coming back in. Hey guys, this
Okay.
is Phoenix Press.
so,
How's-
yeah.
I would, but that would be considered blackface, and I'm not that spicy.
Whoa, all right. I
But,
didn't suggest you put on makeup. I suggested you bring in someone else. Anyway, so-
But yeah, no, yeah, it was clear when that was on the poll it was gonna win. I mean,
I thought Mean Girls would do better than it.
I did too, actually.
yeah, but look at the crowd we're going for. It's got Fifth Element written all over it. Like,
I guess, yeah.
you know,
I
but
I mean, does Mean Girls have a scene where a black radio DJ eats out a flight attendant to perfectly edited sequence?
Oh, I was like, no, it does. Oh,
I
see.
can't. Not in the version of Mean Girls I own, but yeah.
I
Maybe
mean,
the
the
extended
version
version.
that I got from that sketchy store on the other side of town certainly had it, but you know.
All the actors look different than I expected. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. This is why doves cry. Anyway,
Yeah.
so how we what are everyone's overall thoughts on this film? Like, just as a start, like, are
I
you
like
feeling
it.
pretty good about it?
It's nostalgic for me. I watched it as a kid, so it colors it.
It's one of these movies where it reminds me of Mystery Men in a lot of ways. Where except I felt like Bruce Willis was a much better lead than Ben Stiller,
Ben
but it
Stiller.
had that same
I
kind
mean,
of vibe.
he's
where it's
basically
just
playing
like,
John McClane. He's playing John McClane.
Basically.
yeah, whenever he gets
This
to
is
the
Die
Bruce
Hard
Willis stuff,
space.
it's great.
This is Die
But
Hard
I just
space.
felt like the movie was weird. It was kind of just
Yeah.
bizarre and like imaginative, but the execution was all over the place. And I think that for people that hate it, I totally get why you would. But on the whole, I enjoyed it.
I mean, that's kind of Luc Besson's MMO. If you're watching any of his other films, like go watch Lucy. He is very much a weird for the sake of weird kind of director.
I don't even mind weird as long as the movie's good.
Yeah,
but
the weird,
Joe,
the weird was some of the good part, right? Like,
yeah, some of
this
it for sure.
movie did not live up to the expectations that I thought I would have. Like, I did see this when I was younger, but not one of the movies I rewatched like religiously. But yeah, I don't know. It just it was kind of surprising.
People were putting it here, and I watch it. I'm just like, it's not there. It's maybe not here, but it's not up here either.
It's a B. It's like a B tier, movie. Like it's enjoyable. I like it.
Yeah, you tell a lot
like
of people that though that's fighting words, right? You know.
Thing, how many other like fun sci-fi movies like this are there out there?
The fun word.
It's the ultimate thing. What's
How
better
many
than
fun
fun?
sci-fi words? All right,
it's a movie. You pop in every few years, and you watch. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it." Then in another few years, you do the same thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, let me
like
get through
this,
my whole thought
Galaxy
process.
Quest.
Was that like, yeah? I mean, well, we already had some other fun sci-fi movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. But no, not only that, it's like there are some aspects of this movie though that was like really good, right? Where I think the acting was on point. The editing, this movie was held up completely entirely by the editing, which was probably the best part.
I love how they cross-cut.
There isn't a single ordinary transition. Every single transition has work put into it.
But also, there's like lots of scenes where like they're building up to something. Like I talked about, like the woman, when she like their head back, like timing it with the launch of the ship. There are certain sequences that are edited beautifully.
But if this movie was written on a book as a book, it'd be like trash. I'm pretty sure.
This movie was written on a napkin the day of. That's what I'm saying.
I had this misconception. I thought this movie was much older than it was. I thought this was like 87 or early 80s, and it's like late 90s, like a year before my sister was born. I'm like, oh, shush, Seabats. Anyway. But yeah, no, everyone's talking about how impressive the CGI was and how visually immersive it is, and then I'm like, yeah, for the time, and then I find out it's like mid 1997. I'm like, huh. I don't know,
think the cab chase scenes with it going through New York and like the cityscapes, I think those hold up. The particle effects at the end with the stones are basically After Effects 2005.
Yeah,
it adds to the charm, gentlemen. It adds to the charm.
The biggest issue for me was as effects wise was the opera singer. I know that's like, not digital effects, but like it just like rubber suit, man, just screamed it like so hard. Yeah, it just didn't look good.
I felt like this movie couldn't decide what it really wanted to be. It didn't know if it wanted to be serious or goofy or mysterious or funny. And some movies can kind of pull off that vibe. It kind of just like flows in and out of different things. I just don't think this movie executed that very well.
I don't know. To me, it felt like a goofy movie from start to finish. You don't have a movie that colorful that's going to be serious. It's just from early on.
They were trying to.
Were they? There's a couple scenes they played with it.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like I don't know. It was a fun, light movie with occasional moments that are supposed to be like to add a little bit of weight. But on the whole, the thing was just like, let's have fun, guys. Everybody's got silly costumes that are just like
guys,
overly
let's have fun. It
flamboyant.
doesn't care how good the movie. We don't care how good the movie is.
The problem with goofy
bane
movies
of my
makes it good.
existence. That point.
The problem with sorry.
Go
things being
Phoenix.
So I'm getting
I'm trying to be polite here. I'm trying to be polite.
It's just Joe. You can interrupt him. I don't care. No.
All right. There we go. The problem with goofy and silly movies is it's hard to have stakes, and it's hard to care about the plot when it's goofy. And this is the thing. While I agree with this goofy movie, it's a goofy movie that is trying to have stakes, it's trying to have plot, and the juxtaposition sometimes just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think that if you're having fun, who cares about like if the movie has any deeper messages or this other stuff? I don't care, man. I'm there to eat popcorn, have a good time, and it hits that for me.
That is
listen,
Justin. That's
like,
Justin's
but-
F word. Fun.
Yeah,
Fun-
dude.
I
mean,
Fun to
Like,
me
favorite
is a
word.
little sprinkle on something, right? Like, it can give you like a point or two, but like fun can't like glue a movie together or a story together and just be like, it's fun, guys. It's
Yeah.
Well,
Fun is the
my
steak, and
example.
anything else is the little like garnish you put on top.
This entire movie.
No,
this enti-
no.
this Here's the problem. Here's kind of the problem with the movie. Is in the climax of the movie, the entire movie builds up to this one moment where two people have to admit they're in love and they save the world. And as much as like there's definitely chemistry between the characters, I don't really buy that they fell in love. I agree there's like attraction there, but I never really felt
In,
like they were
in this
like,
kind of story, they don't have to be in love. It's like the same thing
They
with
kinda
Jane
do.
Foster and Thor in the first Thor
I
movie.
kind of agree with
It's
that
not
point. That
love,
was
but it's something.
that was like another issue with me. Is like he just like instantly fell in love with her, and also let's get to the real thing. Is like she's not like the perfect woman by any
I thought that was,
means.
I'm like you
Like-
create this character that is supposed to be the perfect creature and her.
Okay.
Her? Really?
let me tell you
Okay.
something that's going to make a lot more sense. So Luc Besson at the time, his wife was the opera singer. After this movie, he divorced her and married Mila Jovovich. So I think that kind of,
What?
Bro.
I didn't know that.
That is so. That makes so much more sense.
Yas
that is
queen.
so wild.
and by the way,
Slay.
they eventually got divorced and
Slay
she married
queen.
Paul Wes Anderson. That's why all Paul Wes Anderson movies are all about Mila Jovovich because they're married. Mila
didn't know
Jovovich
that.
and Paul Wes
Does
Anderson.
Oh,
she
he's
get-
the Resident
does she
Evil
have-
guy.
Is there some secret about her that you'd have to be intimate to know about? I
She
mean,
must
what's
give
going on
really
here?
good head. That's all I'm
You
gonna
guys,
say.
Illuminati.
she's not perfect, but you're acting like she's like I don't know, old
No,
giant
I'm
dog
nobody's saying that
turds
you're
or something.
perfect.
No,
I don't.
We're
like,
not
Justin, I
acting like
don't-
she's perfect.
No,
but she's definitely not like you can't be like, oh yeah, this is like the perfect human
she's
being.
not
They
even
look at her and
upper
they're like,
here.
oh my god,
Did you see
she's
her
amazing.
eyes?
Like when you see Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, you're like, holy shit, that like she's the beauty,
With
she's
the
radiant,
Ethereal
she's,
hot,
she's,
not-
she's ethereal.
Not,
Yeah.
yeah, not
yeah, but
like,
she's as described in the book.
But this is
When the
perfect
movie's
to
trying to
Bruce
say, like,
Willis
she's
and like
perfect.
Some
I'm not
black
buying it.
guy.
Especially with
They're
that
the ones
hair,
throwing around
man.
the word. It's not
Here-
like
here's my thing.
these
If
fantasy
Galadriel's a 10,
warriors. It's silly people.
if
So yeah, she's
Galadriel's a
perfect.
10, Lilu is like an 8 or a 9.
7.
Probably an 8.
Well, no, one of the, like,
She has
there were so
protagonist
many.
hair.
The biggest problem too is there were so many more
Protagonist.
women
No, it had to have
in
the side
this
shade.
movie that were way better looking.
there. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, you can't. Those eye, that eye color does not just walk around every day. That's hard to find.
Yeah,
Very
but
hard.
nice eyes are.
Are very. That's like
She
swinging
has-
the chain, man.
I'm sorry. Have you seen Alexander Daddario? Her eyes are 90%
Oh, yeah.
of her eyes.
Yeah.
Oh
she is
yeah,
nice.
that's all she's got though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
she's-
in this
without
movie,
her
the
eyes,
eyes are not
she's like a
that
seven.
are nowhere near. They're not even approaching that level of unique prettiness. Sorry,
Oh.
That's a bold
Oh,
statement.
God.
I don't agree with that at all.
that's
Oh,
completely
so-
fine.
I spent the whole
Fine.
movie. I didn't even listen to what they were saying. I'm like, are they blue or green? I can't tell. Wow. In
Wait,
this light, look at
guys,
them.
guys,
What's the
Battsauce,
story about? I
Battsauce.
don't even, who cares?
wait, guys.
Just
Highlight
knows
Bat's
why this
question.
movie's-
He has a question for Battsauce. He has a very
yes,
important
yeah,
question.
yeah. Well, obviously she looks nothing like the actress in there, which is why I'm arguing so hard why she's not perfect. Obviously, I married perfect, and like representation of a perfect woman would look more like my wife and not like
good
that
answer.
ugly
Correct.
ass hoe that
Correct.
was represented in the Fifth Element. Thank you, I love you, honey.
And thus
Based.
Batts has a
Super
point.
based.
To be frank, Joe's right. This like
Yeah.
this woman, like the main character in this, like the main female lead in this movie, is not only less pretty than other women in this movie, considered the perfect being. She's not even as pretty as most people I see every single day. I
Not
don't think
everyone
right,
wears
that's fair.
Hooters, sir.
like she is
I-
maybe a touch above like your average woman, and that's like this is
Man,
Hollywood.
you guys
What
are
do you mean?
harsh.
I don't,
critic.
Justin.
I don't feel
brought this
bad.
up. This is your fault.
If the other girls were like a 9.5, she's like a 9.3. Like they're,
Okay,
they're
okay.
right there.
I don't feel bad
Whoa.
anymore, especially with what Nick told us.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
After what Nick, you revealing that reveals so much about this movie and her being in this role.
Also,
Yeah.
like 90s, 2000s Mila Jokovic is a solid 9. If you see her in other stuff, she is a solid 9.
I don't know, man. Like
Resident
as far as
Evil
like
kinda-
a female
Have
lead,
Resident Evil, she is a 9 in real life.
maybe it's I just don't like her. Like I don't think she's very attractive, and I also don't like her. Like the chick who played Trinity, not super, like not as attractive as someone could be, but I like her. Like she has a good vibe. Like the woman in this movie, I don't like anything about this woman.
So,
Well,
so
thing is,
I think
Carrie
the
Ann
general
Moss,
consensus
like,
here
Trinity
is that
Trinity is a woman you bring home
when
with all
you're
the
gonna
things
say
about.
the perfect woman, it's a high margin.
Yeah. It's just look, she's
Guys,
she's
look, it's the
definitely
perfect
pretty.
woman. She has the body of a
But-
12-year-old boy. It's perfect.
They literally, they're literally like, "Oh my god, she's perfect," and you're just like, "Nah, not buying that, dude."
I mean,
Not-
sure,
not
Don't
for-
do that
not
in
for an
storytelling.
To be fair, if Eva Green was in that pod, we'd all have a different story.
Maybe it's the fact that all the other girls are like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, they're such the hottest ever. She's different, so that people are like, oh, something different. Like maybe at that point, that level of beauty or whatever has so attained that it's something different.
This
They're like,
this
wow.
whole debate, this whole
That's-
discussion of this movie is turned about is she hot or not?
No, beautiful. Those eyes are not. You don't look at somebody's eyes and say she's got hot eyes. She got beautiful eyes. There's beauty there, man.
You're not refuting the point. You're just saying she's pretty.
All right. Let's
Nice.
just cut out the
Dude,
middleman.
the argument's
Kahuna,
about perfect.
Kahuna.
Look, this is important. Get the scale up, all right? The hotness scale, all right? Like,
Yeah.
Okay,
do we have
okay.
If
like her
5 is
eyes,
true
okay,
average.
we'll give you 10, but then it gets averaged out with some of those lower scores. Where are we at then, huh? Huh?
She was half naked and it did nothing for me.
I think it's what AC said is it's
That's
not
fair.
about whether she's beautiful or not.
Is it?
The movie describes her as perfect. Perfect is like the pinnacle
Yeah.
of hotness, which she is clearly not. Is she beautiful? Yes.
It's
Is she
subjective.
perfect?
It's
No.
completely
Uh-huh.
subjective.
Yes. Yep.
I'm 100% on.
She's
Nick's
like
side
the
of
queen of the trailer park in nicer clothing.
Oh my god. No. I got you one better. She's the one soccer mom all the husbands want to bang.
that. Well, also, why does she have to be human, huh?
If not
Because
not friends,
obviously humanity is just shy of perfection, Battsauce, don't you know?
Yeah. It's very racist, if you ask me.
That would actually be a correct use of that term. Yep.
There we go.
Because
Okay, so where do we? So guys, like real discussion. Where do we put her?
She's like a
She's
Thai
def-
pepper.
Oh, that's as high as she goes. There's no way she's higher than Thai
Yeah.
Pepper. Who's in control of this, by the way?
It's AC.
Okay, just curious, where did you guys put Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman?
Who for Catwoman?
I don't think I've seen that
Michelle
movie.
Pfeiffer Catwoman from Batman Returns.
I don't know.
Isn't she always like covered up the whole time? Like you can't even see her face?
But in skin
She's in,
tight
like, a
leather.
vacuum
it's quite
seal.
fine.
Yeah, but if it's skin tight leather on her face, I'm just like I can't see her face.
I mean,
Like,
she is
yeah.
uncovered.
Well, let's not get into.
I don't
Let's keep it to the
like.
Fifth Element.
I'll be honest. I don't like the getup of old movie version Catwoman, but like fatally, that's where I'd put her.
Stay at the Fifth Element. Stay at the Fifth Element.
Okay, so yeah, she is cayenne pepper or possibly Tabasco pepper. Thai pepper seems high for me.
But
I'll be frank.
But either way. So why? Maybe I missed it, but like, why did she form as a human being? Like it was some guy's hand.
It was the
Like, that was
DNA.
a-
It was I think it was they basically had like some living cells, so they rebuilt her from her DNA. So I guess it's like I don't know. There's some lore stuff that Luc Besson didn't bother to explain.
That part
Like
was,
you
to
said
me-
it perfectly. This movie is written on a napkin the night before filming started. This is-
And they
Because it was
still
like, yeah, the
knocked
ship
it out of the park
completely
at the box
blew up.
office.
They're like, yeah, we got this hand of an alien creature. let's put in this machine. We'll reconstruct her or whatever. And then they formed a new woman. I was like,
Whatever.
what?
That's what you do. You just watch it. You go, what? Oh, whatever, and just keep going. And then just have a good.
It's like Jurassic Park, man.
Or you
It
don't.
doesn't have-
Or you
no,
actually
but-
look
but
at
Bats,
fighting.
they-
don't
Bats,
always
Bats,
say everything.
Bats,
Yeah, I
they
don't
bring
like
up a
this.
good point. It doesn't in this kind of movie because it's bad. It doesn't have to make sense. In a bad movie,
Yes.
things don't all.
You're
have to
saying
line
bad,
up.
but the
It's-
word you're trying to say is
You're
because
tearing
it's fun.
Lisa, you're
These
tearing
things matter
it
less.
apart.
If you're having a good time, those little it's
the
like who
humor
cares?
was
Just forget
was
about it.
really hit and miss for me. The fun factor is part of the humor, and
That's a part in the humor. Yeah, I wasn't laughing at it, but like the costume design was wild. The music is. I mean, I've never seen a movie quite like this. It was bizarre and interesting.
Can we all agree? Gary Oldman has never done a bad movie. Like, never had a bad role in his life.
he's never done a bad job.
We can
I'll
agree
say
on that. We can
Like,
agree.
his
he was
Zord is
fantastic.
endlessly entertaining. I love him as Zord.
His
Yeah, I
his
just-
character having that accent threw me for a loop. I'll tell you right
That was
now.
pretty
I did
great.
not expect
It's kind of like this weird Southern gentleman accent.
in a world where it does not fit at all, which is funny, but yeah.
Yeah,
I love
and
how
Bruce
the,
Willis
Oh,
basically
you're
played
right. See,
John
that brings
McClane.
up a good point. If she was made from the right hand, the better hand, the dominant hand, maybe she would have been pretty. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
exactly.
god.
I'm gonna show this to Mila, and she's gonna be upset.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up, DPR. The Eldritch Evil. What was that? It just was like the villain of the story. The motivation was just
Cosmic
a
Evil.
No. Here's what happened. Is they're about to film the scene, and they ask Lupasan, "Hey, Luke, what actually is the ultimate evil?" Like, it's a black spot. It's a black spot.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just make a black spot. I don't care. I gotta go bang Mila Jokovic behind my wife's back.
like an entity
Basically,
of
that's
evil.
Honey,
like,
I had
get
to
it.
talk with the cast members. She's cast as the perfect woman. It's part of the script. I'll be right back.
It just could have been a little bit better than just like, okay, there's this black thing here now. Okay, it's
Fine.
it's evil.
I will. The
But
only
does it
thing-
look like a bitch? That's the question. Does it look like a bitch?
It's basically
that
the
hurts.
Galactus, right? Kind of the same
Yeah,
idea.
but like Galactus would have more of an explanation about being a celestial and this and that. That is true, right? But it hurts the stakes because then you're like, well, we don't know much about this. How much of this is like an issue, right? Like,
You can tell Luke
are you-
Besson put like no thought into it because it is the
How
ultimate
fast can it
evil.
travel?
It's a shadow. It's whatever the plot demands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
Right.
just, like, to be fair,
Yeah.
it doesn't have like we don't have to give it a hard science or magic system to like appreciate.
yeah,
it.
we do.
That being said, I don't really.
Clearly.
Oh, shush, AC. You have your magic system. Your magic's soft. It's so soft you wouldn't believe it.
Your garden's overgrown.
The dog bark.
The dog doesn't agree. The dog does not agree.
No. Dog's
Dog's like,
backing him
what the
up.
hell he say? Give me that. Anyway,
I will say my biggest in terms of storytelling, to lend some weight to what you all are saying. This did feel like an episode or 2-episode arc of like a TV show that wasn't the season finale. It's like episodes like 7 and 8 and like a 24-episode season. Where I'm like, this world's cool.
On the
This is fun. It's
Sci-Fi
whatever. We'll get
channel.
more answers later on, but it did feel like not.
This
like
is
the finale of
a
story.
Sci-Fi Channel show from 2009.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's exactly
or even
what it
earlier,
feels
even
like.
earlier in
Yeah, it's
2009. And I love that about it.
No. This is a show that airs on WB UPN at 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Like, those kind of shows.
That's sign me up.
Also, Daniel brings up a good point. The reason that it looks human is because it was man that was made in God's image, not you filthy creatures.
Are you saying God is?
Oh, there you go. There's your explanation. Now, what do you hate?
Absolutely
That's
not what I'm
the next
saying.
This movie for 1997. Whoa, guys! It's that.
God is a woman, confirmed.
Also, like, what year did The Matrix come out? 99 or 2? Was it 99 or 90?
I think it was 98.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 99?
99.
So
99.
look at that movie 2 years later. I know it's not fair to compare The Matrix to just any old movie that came out around the same time.
No,
But
take in any sci-fi movie around that time.
I mean, it's the
They're
same year. I
real
think Batman and
bangers.
Robin came out in '97 as well.
was 97 just a bad year for movies? I don't
Event
know.
Horizon came out. That was sci-fi.
I
Starship
liked
Troopers.
Event Horizon was good though.
Starship
Well,
Troopers.
the thing is, '97 was
Starship
kind of
Troopers
the end of
effects
one
were
era,
really bad.
and '98 was the beginning of another
Rocket
era.
Man.
Because '98 is when Blade came out. If you look at Blade, and you compare that to Matrix, they do seem like they're from the same era.
Mortal Kombat.
That was 96.
Ooh. Oh, really?
It's
I
not
thought the
sci-fi.
movie Sci-Fi 97.
Wait, no,
Men in
never mind.
Black 2.
Titanic
All
came
right,
out in
stay on
97,
course.
The Lost
Stay on-
World.
Stay on course.
We are. We're comparing the
Titanic,
CGI
you're
and the look of
sinking.
the movie to other movies from the time period that are in the sci-fi genre. That's all we're doing.
Apparently,
CGI
The
in
Fifth
general-
Element was the ninth. Was in ninth place as far as like just gross domestic money that it
Lost in
made.
Space came out in 97,
Ooh,
and
that's
Lost
a
in
good one.
Space and Fifth Element do look like from the same era. Lost in
Yeah.
Space do like they're,
Totally
I would say
fine.
the
So,
CGI was not really anything to complain about overall.
Yeah,
Like I
fine.
do factor in the technology back.
I just wanted
God.
like if something's gonna be not very good or interesting to me, I wanted to have some spectacle, and there isn't really much spectacle here for me. Maybe like even the way they did costumes, like look at movie like Stargate. It's a little goofy, but I like the set design and costuming in that movie. I don't really like it in this movie very much.
I mean, they basically.
So loud.
Stargate. They just raided the Prince of Persia, the Lawrence of Arabia closet. They basically like, all right, what's all our Egyptian props? Bring those out.
Also, it's like take them and make
Yeah.
them sci-fi.
Yeah.
even
And
the
I
alien
actually think for Stargate it kind of works.
I agree. I think in that movie it kind of works. In this movie, it does something. It certainly does.
And the thing is,
something.
even in Stargate, they actually do give a quasi reason why ancient Egyptians intergalactic. Like they actually.
Oh yeah,
kinda
they were
do
they were
explain
they
it.
were they were visually based and like societally based off of their gods, the aliens, basically. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, can we-
flimsy, but it works.
I wish we could have watched Stargate instead of this movie. Anyway,
Stargate would have been a good pick too, but this was also a fine pick.
um,
Agreed.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, what-
wait, isn't the female lead in Godzilla a redhead
Which
from
Godzilla?
97?
The black and white one? I'm
97,
not sure.
No, the one from 97, 98.
No,
One with
that's
the
98,
neck
yeah.
rubber.
Matthew Broderick?
That's-
He's got brown hair, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, the female lead.
There's a girl
Oh,
in
I
that
think
movie?
she has like auburn hair, so kind of yeah.
So yeah, that movie qualifies for the show.
Oh, darn, dude. We were
I
having
am
a lot
so
of trouble
sorry.
coming up with redheaded lead movies.
Her hair
Yeah,
looks
we were
blonde
having
in
a
this
lot
picture.
of trouble.
Yeah, there's not a lot. And to find a
Yeah.
redheaded male lead in anything, aside from like Seven Brothers for Seven Brides, we're like two.
I
It was
found a
wild,
couple, and a
actually, shocking.
couple that were good ones too. But yeah, no.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because it's very
Slim pickings.
hard to film male gingers because we have no souls and we don't show up well on camera because of it.
Where does that rumor come from? I don't understand that. The rarest people on the
Have
planet
you met
belittling
one,
themselves.
Justin?
Ugh.
It's obvious. No, I'm kidding.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
But
Yeah.
guys,
So let's talk Chris Tucker now. All right. Let's get.
do
let's
we
get
have
that
to?
out of the way. I know.
Unbelievable.
That was so incredibly annoying. Like at
Yeah,
first
it
it was like a
sucks.
little bit like, oh, this is quirky and a little bit funny.
He's
But it got
bombastic.
old so quick. And
I
was
wonder
just
how much
like,
love every
cocaine he
second.
snorted
Fast.
before he chased.
Is
My thing
is
is,
the director
I wonder how much
European?
cocaine he snorted.
All of it.
Yes. Yes.
he is European? Okay. That
All of
came
it.
on. I'm like, this feels foreign. It feels like a European like sketch.
His name is Luke Besson. That is not the name of a person who eats cheeseburgers.
I mean,
No,
it could
that's
be.
true.
There's some people that are like born raised American but have like traditional names from wherever, that kind of thing. So I wasn't sure, but that
Luke
felt very
Besson.
European to me.
That
That's
that name foreign
Um,
AF. Anyway,
Generally, but it is America, and people do have
sounds
names
like
all
what-
over the world.
He's the worst kind of European. He's French.
oh, he's one of them snail
That is
eaters, eh?
weird, yeah.
Okay. Now that we know what we're working with,
Yeah, that guy was obnoxious. As soon as he stepped
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
screen, I was just like, "Oh no!"
Oh,
again,
no.
I
Maybe it won't
like-
last
I
long,
like
and then it
Chris
kept
Tucker.
going, and I'm like, "Make
I like
it go
the
away."
actor. I think
It could be worse. He could be French Canadian.
that.
Oh, I thought you were
that
talking
is-
about Chris Tucker
that
could
is
be worse. I'm like, I don't know how. I don't know how. And why would Chris Tucker sign on to this role too? Like, you're gonna put me in a dress and put bacon on me? Oh,
Well, that's part of the
Uh,
conspiracy, right? About putting black people in.
I was gonna say it was
black
a
men in dresses,
humiliation ritual,
remember?
right?
The humiliation ritual, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
is
know.
this
It's
before
weird.
Rush Hour? Is this before Rush Hour? I think it is.
Is it?
Yes,
Because Rush
sir.
Hour made his
But-
career.
Yeah.
Released.
He both
Ass
played
Queen,
the gayest
slay.
character on screen
Ooh.
and then gave, ate out a chick.
And he's
For
Well,
like
also
I mean,
20
this is the
minutes.
problem we have with to this day is is every black character in movies and TV shows nowadays are gay and effeminate. It's almost like they're trying to like defang them, de-threatenize them, or whatever. I don't get it.
At least in like the show Luke Stone, not a
Yup.
perfect show, but at least it was like
Yup.
he's a dude, he's a man, he's a dude. It's like yeah,
I
there's
like
nothing
Luke Stone.
effeminate here.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's that. So what's the good of the movie besides the fun? You know, I need substantial
People who have good
good.
things to say about this movie.
Oh yeah, I've already talked about several of them. The weapon design in it was a lot of fun. It was like Ratchet and Clank type
All
stuff
of
or
it.
Resistance.
Bruce Willis, even though he's basically playing John McClane
Yeah.
in space.
Bruce Willis,
I
yeah.
feel good.
The costume
So
design I
here's-
liked. It
here's
was
an
very
important
colorful, even down to the haircuts, all the weird haircuts
let's
they
say-
had.
Well, real quick. Bruce Willis
Yup.
acted great in this. The character, take Bruce Willis out of it. How's the character?
Oh yeah, but I mean, the actor you pick is the character on some level. You can't separate those two entirely.
Well, I'm saying if
Casting
you're
is
right,
massive.
yeah, no, you can a little bit. Like if this character's
The
written
kid-
on paper,
Yeah.
like
Take-
Joe, your
take
point
Han
being the writing in
Solo.
this entire film is pretty
Right? And remove.
It's very water thin.
yeah.
I don't know.
Like-
I've seen good scripts where if you have the wrong casting, it doesn't matter. Like if you
Yeah,
don't have the right
yeah.
person for the job, and we've
No,
seen this
I
time
agree.
and time
I've
again,
seen-
especially
and-
in
and-
recent history.
And on the flip side, we have seen actors who can take awful material and elevate it, and I think
Yeah.
that's what we have here.
100%,
I think the writing for the character Corbin Dallas is average at best, and then you get Bruce Willis in his mother effing prime, and he just
Doing a
kind of
good
elevates
job.
it with his charisma and just everything. I think
I know
he
what you're
elevates
saying though, Bats. I know what you're
middling
saying.
material into memorable.
It's not
Joe,
a super
Joe, they are
complex,
ripping you-
amazing
they are-
character that even a dingbat
are
could make
ripping you
seem
in these
kind of cool because the
comments,
writing's so good. I know what you're saying there.
He's a Mary Sue. He's basically he's essentially he's a
Corbin
he's
Dallas.
Like, oh, I'm actually a secret ops guy. I'm like well decorated. And the military wants for this mission. It's like totally like rigged a contest, and now everyone wants me. And like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm so cool. I have these guns, and I have like this copper hair chick that I'm into, and she's it. Like, it just reads.
Yeah, it was all
like
over the
Rufus
place.
San's fanfic.
Also, Justin,
yeah,
I
he had
gotta
no money,
I gotta
but he had a
challenge
bunch
you.
of
On,
guns.
I gotta challenge you on the weapon design too.
Oh yeah,
Those guns looked like they are out of Spy Kids, and they were just as tacky as anything in Spy Kids.
they
Battsauce
were
and
designed not to be scary and dangerous, but to be what? What's the word?
Fun.
Fun.
Battsauce.
Who cares if it
So
doesn't
my-
look like a death machine? It's just silly. It's like this rock that opens up and then the bolts go behind you and whatever else. I'm like,
My-
I don't
my
care if it
argument
looks
for the
menacing. It
guns-
looks like an earth weapon. It looks like something from somewhere else. It's cool.
When the guy tries to hold him up, it's
Yeet.
very clear this is not the first time this has happened. It's very clear
Right.
this is like a daily occurrence for him. So those guns have probably been like from the other like 15 people who have tried the
Yeah,
exact same
Of course.
thing.
Sell
Because
'em.
like also, can I just give a shout out to the dude who's playing the robber? He's very playing it like he's tweaked out of his mind.
He looks like a
And I-
cartoon. He does a great job.
but he's playing it like he's
It-
on drugs, like he's on meth
Yeah.
or whatever. And I think he does a really good job for playing
It
that
was-
like tweaked out, kind of person.
Yeah, but what did that scene have to do with anything? Right? Like it was a good scene.
No,
and
it
everything
was
like
Oh,
that.
look at how cool
it was to establish tone for the character and the competence of the character.
All right,
That's all.
yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, it's just I'm like he's having issues with his taxi or paying or something like that.
Why are they calling you a meat popsicle in the comments?
I don't know. I guess Daniel's upset that I'm mentioning things that I don't.
Also,
know.
see, Bats, Spy Kids is great, but not in a serious sci-fi adult film like this.
And at least
This isn't a
Spy
serious
Kids can keep-
adult film.
Spy
did
Kids
not
at
say
least
Pick
knows what
one,
movie
man.
it is. The thing about Spy Kids is it knows
Nice.
what movie it's in and it stays in its lane. That's why
Yeah.
it works.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
Like everybody, like especially how it's like perceived. A lot of people take the movie seriously. Like
Animation
you can have a serious movie with jokes that don't like ruin the overall tone, right?
Yeah, like the old
But, like,
MCU.
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
know
But
how
I feel like
anybody
this
could-
is taking it to a point where it's just like it becomes like an excuse for lazy writing. Where it's just like, oh, don't
Yeah.
worry about it. We're just having fun, guys.
Oh, it's made
Like,
for guys. It's made for kids. That's why this cartoon
Yeah, that's
is
why it's not-
terribly
yeah.
written. Like like that
The
like
fifth,
it's not made for
fifth
you.
element
It's-
with very subtle nudity in the background. Subtle. Enormously subtle.
It's just meant to be cheesy fun, man.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not meant
So
to
if
be
you
this
look at the
deep dive,
if you
etc.
look at the background of this one shot, you can see Emilio Kovich's titties. 10 out of 10.
Absolute. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think,
100%.
I think we have talked about this mediocre
noticed.
movie long enough.
Oh.
It's time for your final votes and final thoughts. Joe, yeah, Battsauce. Final thoughts and your score. Does it float? Does it sink?
Oh man. All right. So
Hard choice.
it was more like I was like, man, when I got done watching it, I was like, I like enjoyed the experience. I was like kind of confused. Right? Like I was like a little bit confused. Like there was some good action in there, but like there was decent effects, but then there was shitty effects, and I was just like I was kind of confused. And then you know, we're in the Discord talking about it. I'm like, did I like this movie? And I think just, you know, because to be as hard as possible on the movie, especially, you know, after last week where I sank the movie that I really like, I'm going to be tough on this, and I'm going to say it's a sinker. Hate me all you want for that.
AC, your final thoughts and your float or sink on this movie.
Well, I'm gonna give it my final thoughts here. So I think it is a fantastic study in world building. It does a lot of, like, there is the criticism anytime you need to get in and out of a story quickly when you have a complete story, because they do very much like kind of wrap everything up and all that at the end. There's the risk of not explaining enough, which there's always an argument to be made when you're iceberging, so to speak. But yeah, I think they like Justin was saying, there's a lot of cool concepts here. We all agreed that it's kind of like a season of a TV show, which maybe that format would have served it better, right? But I'm gonna say it's you know, overall floater.
You son of a you
Yeah.
teased me all along the whole
Rope a
way.
dope.
Yeah, like 3 out of 5, something like that.
Okay.
All right, let's hear the fun opinions.
Yeah,
Does that
let's
mean
hear
me?
the fun. Let's hear the fun score there, Justin.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
As
hear
I've
about
stated,
how
and I'm
much
just
every scene was fun.
recapping my overall thoughts. Bruce Willis being Bruce Willis. He's shooting guns. He's looking cool while he's doing it. He's got some good one-liners.
being Bruce Willis. Yeah.
That's a great argument for any movie, I think.
Let's go to Lost in Paradise. We'll have some laughs.
Interesting setup. I thought the setup was totally fine. The costumes were great. The music was fantastic. It was so weird and different and very of the era. It reminded me
It
of
was
the
porno music.
it reminded me of the Bond N64 pause menu, and it even had that reverb metal clang noise in the background. Some of the songs, that was just like nice. Obviously, there's some. I like my movies to be entertaining and have some beauty, very colorful. Obviously, I've talked about her eyes at length. I thought the movie was fun, bizarre characters. It has the laugh meme that you see all the time, where it cuts from the bad guys, then all the stones, then it cuts to her laughing. And I was like, I didn't know it was from this movie. The little robot animal was fun in it. The Chinese restaurant coming to his house, and you think he's at a restaurant, and then it like pulls away. I was like, that was awesome. And I mean, there's some good lines in it.
Prophetic a little
They
bit.
talk about, and they maybe even self-referential. You could make this argument. They say it'll rot your brain at one point. I would say that this movie's perfect in the same way that you would say Mila is, or it's not.
Whoa.
But Big Bada Doom. Multi-pass. How was it? Oh, it was
Bada
absolutely
Boom.
green.
Multi-pass.
Absolutely green, boys.
That
Absolutely
movie was
green.
everywhere in 2015.
Yeah,
by the way.
multipass.
This is a floater. It's not a skyship, but absolutely a floater. And all I'll say is, if you don't think it is, if anybody else wanted to negotiate,
Big Adam.
So Nick, do you have a good opinion, or do we have to kick you off? No,
Wait,
well-
why would they even think that the stones are in the case in the first place? Like
And
there's no
don't expose
identifying
Joe, you don't
case.
ask questions with this kind of
no.
film.
It's just like both
Don't
times.
ask
it's like,
questions. Just consume
why-
product and be hyped
why
for
are
next
you-
product.
Don't ask basic questions.
they had the movie script.
Okay. I'm just gonna say this movie is a very definition of a turn your brain off kind of thing and just enjoy the ride. Is it perfect? No, and neither is Mila Jokovic. But it's just good enough to like enjoy it maybe you get high before watching it. Maybe you watch it with your girlfriend and she's
Amen.
so bored that she set aside to deduce you just to get out of the movie halfway through.
Oh, look, a perfect woman.
Chicken good.
You look just like her.
Chicken good.
But no, like this is a movie that I probably come back to every few years. I watch it and be like, okay, yeah, that was fun. I had a good time, and then I watch it again in a few years. So, it's a floater in the same way that
A turd floats.
stool floats. God dang it! You told my you broke my wind.
Now, to work
Like a
off of
turd.
exactly what he just said, he will watch it every couple of years, and I will never watch this film ever again, happily. I
There's no
think this
accounting for
movie
taste.
is a bigger disappointment. Like, I have nostalgia for Highlander, so I will probably occasionally watch that turd.
Oh, I love that movie.
I know. People
Can't
do.
find my
I don't
sword.
understand
There
it.
can only be one, McLeod.
Yes.
That movie.
Nostalgia is
Never
very
again.
powerful.
Anyway,
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
no,
this movie was a
forever.
major... This movie was a sinker. I'm really surprised it's as well regarded as it is.
Wow.
That's what I'll say. Sorry, guys.
I'm just gonna
Disagree.
say, you kind of just had to be there. You had to just be there at the time.
I'm not upset
I
with the
wasn't there
results.
though.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen this movie a few times. Grace watches it like every other year, and I kind of see it in the background. But I hadn't
Oh,
seen it
sick.
since I was a kid. I had no nostalgia tied to
Based.
this.
I
So your
will say
wife
my
watches
favorite
this?
scene
Yeah,
is the
she loves
opera
this
scene
movie.
with like the
There
martial
you go.
arts. Like I love
Enough
that
said.
scene. That scene is so great. With her doing like the Bruce Lee shit and like it, and then the opera singer. It's like
The
going,
choreography sucked though. Like when she went
Yeah.
back to punch that guy, I'm just like, I cringed. 'Cause I was like,
Yeah.
it looks so bad.
What about the
I
last
thought-
stand?
I thought it
scene?
was trying to be funny.
the last
I don't
stand
know
at
if it
the
was
end.
succeeding,
It's like
but it was
campy
funny.
and silly. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
also,
fine, it's
also
fine,
we have
it's
to
fine.
realize this is a movie where 300 years in the future, the world is saved because the one guy who still uses matches has one left.
That's fair,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. Based.
See, this is
there's
a
lot of
turn
truth
your
in
brain
that,
off
you know?
movie. It's a turn your brain off movie and just don't ignore all the plot holes.
Or prophetic. I don't know.
All right, hey,
how
AC,
is how is her
Yep.
body containing those stones? That's what I want to know.
Very
This is
careful.
You're a
weird,
tall
though.
woman.
Joe, you
Well,
have to be
alien
stoned
woman.
to understand it.
She's like a
Well,
kangaroo.
she's very tall. She's very
Yep.
tall, guys.
Her species doesn't have organs there, Battsauce.
Yeah.
It is just a.
She's
So
a
where are her
human!
organs?
Right. Yeah.
Where are her organs?
in
Mostly
her head,
like,
obviously.
right around here, I think.
in her.
In her head. Yeah, she
skull.
did have a large head.
Yeah.
Obviously
oh,
not
man,
in
that
her tits.
rubber bullshit that
There
kept
you
on
go.
like. Ugh.
There
it's
you
so
go.
bad.
Anyway, play that transition. Let's talk about space operas, please.
Space.
No, this movie had, it was a space opera in a space opera too, which I mean,
space.
In space.
Was in space.
Well, obviously, there's like the quintessential one, but like, it's not a space opera, but it has space opera vibes. You got like the old Tron movie. It's not really a space opera, but it feels like a space opera in some ways. The way that
I
it's
can
filmed,
see
the
where you're
dialogue.
coming from.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Cyberspace.
It's cyberspace. I'm a nerd.
It's a cyberspace opera, guys. It's a cyberspace opera.
I work in IT.
I'm a mod. I'm a Reddit mod.
We thought he was in his own house. He's been in his mother's basement the entire time. So.
Yes. Be careful,
Based.
or you'll get banned.
And like
Yeah.
I guess there are different kinds of space operas as well, but I like the vibe of space operas. It's much more. I like it much more than like your more hard science, hard edge sci-fi most of the time. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm giving it
I'm
to
with
the
you.
king. Dune. Dune. How you doing?
The real king is Star Wars, though. I mean,
Nah.
Are we?
that's
are
what
we gonna talk?
people think when they hear space opera.
Nah.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, even by George Lucas's own definition, he defines Star Wars as space fantasy, and I tend to agree with him on that.
But there
That's
is
true.
an
It says a
element
lot of
of
things,
like
yeah.
a lot of old
It's
space
samurai-
operas were kind of like space fantasy though. So
It's samurai wizards in
That's
space. I love Star Wars, but let's not pretend it is. It's
Well, okay.
Flash
I mean, yes,
Gordon
yes,
Holiday.
it is more fantasy than it is sci-fi. I'm not gonna argue that, but it's a space opera. Like it can be both.
It is. Still,
It is.
The space
it is
opera is
space
more of a
opera,
vibe. It's like it's a style of storytelling, a scope of
It's
storytelling.
like if you look at the
Alright.
definition, which I'll pull up in a second, it fits.
Just let me whip
Star
this
Wars,
up.
it fits
I have a-
all these.
I have a
Yeah,
question for you
it's-
guys.
Yes.
What about some
Yes.
of the anime space opera, like Battleship Yamato, maybe some Gundam stuff? But like
with the,
Star Blazers is definitely space opera, for sure.
I
What's that one?
haven't
Cowboy
seen, like,
Bebop?
Cowboy Bebop was barely. I don't know if that.
no, that's
qualifies.
noir. No, it is not
Noir,
space
yeah, yeah.
opera. It's space noir. It's
All
very
right.
well-
So let me the definition. It's a subgenre of science fiction that emphasizes space warfare with the use of melodramatic, risk-taking space adventures, relationship, and chivalric romance.
So it's like space D&D, basically.
No fracking way.
What?
Kinda.
No. What? I mean, it's
Space
okay.
D&D, basically.
You have space warfare, so there's like some sort of
it's
galactic
travelers.
battle going on, and it's like it has more of some of the classical like fantasy takes of like when it comes to chivalric romance.
I mean, does Star Trek qualify as space opera?
It's on the list.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
too bad because I dislike it.
I feel like
Yeah,
Star Trek
yeah.
is more on the
Yeah,
higher
it's like a
sci-fi.
space soap opera. It's a
Yeah,
space soap
I-
opera.
I mean, the best way to think about it is literally just Star Wars. It's the quintessential space
Yeah.
opera.
Yeah.
Dune,
It's like
obviously Dune does
Or
fall
Dune.
into the category
The
as
superior,
well. Yeah,
the superior space
What
opera.
about Battlestar Galactica?
I
What
disagree.
about that?
But
Yeah.
yeah, that,
If
that-
Star
yeah,
Trek
it's
qualifies, then Battlestar Galactica definitely
Dune is better, that's all.
qualifies.
yeah, all these do. Like even Guardians,
It's better.
Guardians of the Galaxy does as well.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like this is one of those times where like anything like it's a ship in space, it's a space opera. That's
Well,
like calling everything an RPG.
no,
So
no, no.
feel like
Yeah, I
we're
guess
starting
some of
way
these
too far.
wouldn't because the
Alien,
the
I
chivalric
can confidently say
romantic.
is not a space opera.
Yeah,
By
like
that-
Interstellar
by that
probably
logic,
wouldn't
Alien.
consider it.
Alien is a space opera. By your guys' definition, like that's
No,
kind of the
no,
problem
because it's
we're-
got
No,
it's
because
got
there
like
is a
big
style of storytelling
big battle.
attached and a scope of storytelling.
scope. I think scope is important when you're factoring.
Yeah,
this in.
because it's not
being on
like,
one spaceship with an alien or aliens does not quantify as a space opera.
Yeah.
But I'm just worried it's your guys are using it as more of a catch-all term to just describe anything.
Well, I'm worried that you
No.
are becoming more redhead as this
What do you mean?
stream goes on.
We
But,
literally
you know.
just said alien doesn't count.
I mean, if you want to become a redhead, I cut my hair.
Predator has spaceships in it. That wouldn't classify as a space opera.
Well, Predator usually takes place on Earth unless so that's
It's true. It's not a space opera.
Yeah.
No, I mean you gotta think you'd have like that classic character that kind of fits the knight archetype too. That would be typically in it, right?
Well, like there's a sense of heroism and sacrifice and
Right.
grand scale battles with individual
Grand scale
focusing on
battles, I think, is the
individual moments.
Is the big
It's like
one when you're
A
thinking about
friend of
it.
mine,
That's
Chris Fox, he wrote the Magitech Chronicles, which is this long like sci-fi magic series, like sci-fantasy series. Like it's heavy fantasy and heavy sci-fi, and it's like this is definitely space opera feeling, despite the heavy fantasy elements. And so, like something like that would qualify. My favorite book series of all time is a very dark version of space opera in some ways. And so I love the genre. It just depends. Like obviously,
I'm just gonna say that then. If you guys like space opera, you'll probably like my book Lost Kingdom. It like by your guys' definition, it definitely fits a mold.
Okay.
nice. Tell us about that. Don't just drop the lure. Tell us.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Don't dangle and dip.
I don't like
Dangle and
dangle,
dip.
See?
Come on, man.
He's
All right.
Don't ever say that again.
I'm gonna put in the
Man.
private chat the
Oh, you
Kickstarter
do.
that I did. This is long
It just
since
keeps getting better. It's private now.
It's long since it's been
you go.
expired, but you can kind of check that out as a visual aid. So it's a sci-fi fantasy novel. It's basically set in our solar system in the year 4000s. Like Earth has long since been abandoned, so they've settled like our solar system, like planets, the moons, and out of all the chaos, you had the Shinkar Kingdom come about, and After a while, there was a. Basically, I'm doing all of like the fantasy trappings, but in space.
No, I can see that. I like. Well, whoa! What is wrong with my sound system? Imagine a man who has forsaken all he once stood for. Imagine a boy that is the literal hope for the soul system. See, like that's very space opera kind of sounding as well, right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely pulling from the hero's journey formula. It's basically hero's journey, but from the mentor's point of view. You know, and you're seeing the chosen one and flaws and all, because the problem with a lot of stories is, yeah, this has long since been done. I think there might be some late backers stuff you can do for this. I was supposed to be talking about Screecher here.
Oh no, that's fine. Well, we're just
God damn it! I'm
the...
pitching a campaign that I concluded months ago.
No, I mean we're just
it's fine. It's fine.
It's part of the umbrella.
A little bit. Yeah.
Actually, this would be a good time to transition anyway into Screecher. So yeah.
I'm sorry, we're talking about space operas, and I realized, holy crap, I wrote a novel that fixed those boxes. I should bring it up.
Yeah. So
we can
talk about it, but
we can wrap up space operas and get to Screecher. Actually,
I feel like the space opera genre though is just like underlooked or underutilized, maybe?
Underserved. Yeah, I agree.
Maybe I don't know. People are trying to avoid doing just Star Wars ripoffs or something like that, and I'm like,
I think a lot,
but I love it, and Star Wars ain't doing it anymore. So
I think
Star Wars
it's that,
really failed.
and I think a lot of writers they don't want to do the homework because for a lot of the stuff you have to have a very strong lore base. Like you actually have to put in the work to create the basis for the lore of your stuff. Like I actually put a lot of work into,
and it doesn't have to make perfect scientific sense. It just has to be internally consistent.
Yeah. Internally consistent, or at least plausible enough. Like that's the realm that I like to do. It's like, okay, this couldn't exist in real life, but I could see it existing.
Well, like, here's a question, Nick. Have you seen Gurren Lagann?
I think I've seen like bits and pieces of it.
I'm trying to figure out if that qualifies because there is some substantial space kind of stuff later in the show, and it has the vibe. I just don't know if it it's on the edge of qualifying. I think.
Which, by the way, Daniel is the editor for Lost Kingdom. This is the book that I was telling you about. So, the Kickstarter was basically essentially to pay him and then some.
But no, I would like I said, fan of the space opera genre. That's why I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. Which is known as a good movie, even though some of our guests might argue otherwise, like fucking retards. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bad opinion.
Yeah, that crazy, insane take. I mean that's one of the things that drew me with Guardians of the Galaxy is the fact that it's a space opera, and so it's just like. Not only is it like Marvel doing really well at that time.
I mean, technically, the Marvels is a space opera. But
yeah, just done so poorly. But
I will say, if you guys do like space operas, you probably will like Lost Kingdom. I'm just gonna say.
Is it on Amazon?
It's being edited right now.
Ooh, spicy.
We kickstarted it. I paid Daniel's exorbitant fee, and it's being worked on right now. It's set to come out next summer.
Well, I will correct the record. Daniel has a very Jesus Christ, very fair price. I mean, he's very cheap compared to.
Well, I'm trying to hype the guy up. So.
Yeah, but he's as far as editors go, he's very cost effective.
Also, TK brings up a good point too. Space opera plus great music plus fun times. Yeah.
Also, I will say, if you guys are a fan of Iron Age Knights, I did sneak in a Royce cameo and his love of White Claw.
Did you ever see our short where we left a bunch of White Claws in his wheel? Oh, so he had his barbecue and we were all there, and so we left a bunch of White Claws underneath his desk, and we made a video. He came in. Why is there White Claw everywhere?
But no, in my book, there's a character called Royce who's just chugging down White Claws.
It's gonna be this weird thing.
It sounds less gay than his typical thing that he's usually guzzling down.
Oh!
I think there was a delay
double
there,
fisting.
That makes it funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Oh, it was delayed for me.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah,
it's been over an hour. It's been like an hour and a half. I've had these Goddamn hiccups. Fuck.
So,
Hiccups.
so comic books. Do you anyone like comic books?
Yeah, I love comic books.
Let's
Yes.
go to
Sorry.
it.
I'm trying to desperately get us off this conversation.
Transition.
What? Look, we have some guests on the show that like last week that tend to talk about guzzling. That's
Why are
up
you
to
still
them.
on
Like,
You had Royce on
Are
last
you
week?
having flashbacks to your Marine days? Why are you talking about guzzling so much?
Second guess.
That would be third
Second
strand.
guess.
My name is Avery Fletcher. And my mission has become me. For too long, my father has sat in prison, a victim of his former employer, Eden Pharmaceuticals. Their leader, Kathleen Johnson, the tip of the spear. And my work to change that continues. Not as the dutiful daughter, but as the winged avenger, Screecher. I have invaded their home, looted their caches, and now I have come close to their source. But like Icarus before me, have I flown too close to the sun? Only time shall tell.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, in my head, I'm
I
hearing
thought it
Rob
was done
Halford.
already.
The
That's my bad.
Screecher! Or is that Testament? Maybe it's Testament, but it's the Screecher. But Brian,
No,
knows who
that's
has it.
cool, man. Your art style is interesting too. It's like a combination of like some comics I read when I was a little bit younger, and then like modern webtoon almost as well.
I was trying to shoot for like a late '90s, early 2000s kind of style. I think, like the Chuck Dixon era Nightwing, Ultimate Spider-Man for the early 2000s, like that kind of stuff. Because that's a lot of the comic books that I grew up on, and that's basically what I wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can definitely get that vibe.
Yeah, basically, I'm imagining, like, let's say this is a comic book that came out in 1998 or whatever. Same year as the movie we talked about today.
Actually, no, that's 97. 97.
Okay, fine. The comic book would have come out in 97. So you can go watch The Delvin, and on the way back, pick up a copy of Screecher.
There you go.
Nice.
No.
So does she have wings? It doesn't. I don't think she does. It just in a couple pictures it looked like she might.
She does have wings. Basically, her cape becomes the wings.
Okay. That also you have the only pose any comic ever does with a motorcycle. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know that it's done to death, but I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck.
With
I
good
wanted
reason.
to do my. I wanted to it's one of those things. I was like, I know it's overdone, but I still want to do it.
I give it a pass. I completely understand. I've actually done this in real life. It doesn't end up like this usually most of the time. I'll say that. My buddy, he got pulled into the splits and dragged about 11 feet on sideways through the dirt on a dirt bike when I was a kid.
Also, I just want to say
Around.
mine actually came out really well. Hats off to my artist Irene who did this cover. So it just came out really well. So,
I also like she kind of like I'm getting some like Teen Titan like
Mhm.
design vibes from all of this as well.
yeah,
Like the
certainly.
slightly more cartoony, slightly rounder surfaces kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and like when you look at the interior art, you'll definitely see that as well.
Oh,
I
thought you were going to say something else.
Yeah, I was still like,
No. Sorry.
No, you're all good, man. And so,
No, but yeah.
which issue is this, by the way?
This is issue 3. There is a catch-up tier if this is your first time, so I got you covered.
Sweet.
So this is issue 3 of 4, and then issue 4 is going to be coming out next year, and then after that, we're going to put together a definitive edition, so you can buy like the whole thing in one go. That's
Like a graphic novel style kind of version.
trade paperback, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, indie is kind of like that right now, but like I've always preferred grabbing like the whole collected editions
You and
like,
a lot of other
comics.
people, honestly. Like that's a pretty common thing. I mean, hell, I'm the same way. I actually prefer to buy trades myself. It's just for me is I only have so much money to go around, and I can really only afford to do like one floppy at a time. So I'm just building up to it, and hopefully, when I can put my first trade out, I'm hoping to make so much money that I can just put the finance the next one.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's so interesting because in the indie space specifically with comics, like you get such a variety of like sizes comics, like G Sedai by DP Riley, he's in the comic. So it's like how many pages is this? It's
I think it was 24,
31, 31.
31.
And that's a very respectable amount. And then like some others, like obviously it's not the same style because it's a big one, but like, this is like 100+ pages, and
Oh, let's
so
go to the Badlands.
yeah, yeah. But it's
Nice.
interesting just because like the various it's not like normal comics where you have a specific page number you're going to hit every single time. With this, it's more like we have goals, and then we can mess with it a little bit. They don't have to be so long or so short. We can kind of adjust it according to our own needs.
Yeah, well, you got to keep it within the multiples of 4, but other than that, you can go wild.
Yeah, yeah, which I appreciate as well. And it's like,
Yeah,
it's some of these I really like, but some of the indie comics that I've read, I know will not be getting sequels. I'm like, oh, that's such a shame. I like a lot of these too.
Well, I can tell you right now, issue 4 is coming out, so like I can guarantee you that.
Sweet.
In fact, I already
what-
have the cover for issue 4, but yeah.
Oh, nice. Go wild, you say? Thank you, Seabats. So
Back the kicks
oh,
because we got a 2K stretch goal.
okay, yeah. So who were your major like character inspirations for this character and her look and her abilities or the journey in essence?
Well,
You don't have
I
to
know-
give anything away if it's obvious.
oh no, I've said this multiple occasions. It's not really a secret. I don't pretend. She's definitely of the Batman mold. But as far as like character design, it's kind of a combination of Batman, Batgirl, Moon Knight, Dove from Titans, and I will say a subconscious influence was Raven from Teen Titans. I
I
wasn't
can
thinking
definitely
about
see
it.
that, yeah.
Like I wasn't thinking about it when I designed her, but I am a huge Teen Titans fan. So when people like said that a lot, I'd be like, you know what? I probably wasn't even thinking about it. I included it anyway. The only other character I'd probably mention would be Spoiler, the character Spoiler, Tim Drake's girlfriend.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah, she's an early 2000s character. I think she's still around, but you know.
Yeah, no, I was all over the place with my comic reading stuff growing up. Like I liked a lot of DC stuff. I liked the older DC stuff, like way back, even like Bronze Age stuff. Like I used to have every single like action comic of Superman, like collected edition. Like I had both volumes for a while. My wife gave those away. Very sad. But yeah, no. So it's interesting seeing like what like because like you had a different kind of reading style of comics than I did. Like I didn't read a lot from that era specifically. So it's
Yeah,
good.
mine
That's
was New Teen Titans. The Marv Wolfman, George Perez run was kind of my intro. Read a lot of the Chuck Dixon era Nightwing, Young Justice, a little bit of the Jeff Johns Teen Titans. I read that. That wasn't too bad. A lot of the
Yeah,
Batman for the early 2000s, Hush, War Games, a lot of that stuff.
See, yeah, like I've read in my fair share of Batman comics, but most of them were a little bit older. There's a few others. Like when did Public Enemies come out? I like that comic.
I read the Nightfall saga. I know I read that.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
Um,
it's always interesting. Like, so did you have an ending in mind when you started writing it, or did you discover it along the way somewhere?
I mean, I know where things are going to go, but this is definitely meant to be more of an ongoing kind of series. The way I've set it up, like I have like the initial goal of like freeing her father, and then eventually she will obtain that goal, but then things will kind of move on from there.
Okay, sweet. So this is just an arc. You do have more stories in mind for this character, and
Yes,
other characters
and
as
she
well.
may or may not free her father in this intro arc. You know, so it might take a few volumes for that to even happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. Who's in control of the screen? Is that Joe? He had to step out for a second.
Definitely not me. So
Yeah, Joe might have stepped out for a second.
And
But
did I
yeah,
miss- who
Justin,
did you-
any questions, any thoughts?
I was gonna say,
like
did I miss? Who'd you say the artist is for this?
It's a man named Brian Quiroga. He's a person from he's a friend of mine from Argentina. I found, and he's done every issue. He's done some of my other comic books from Samurai. He's a really great guy, and the colors are done by Ardent Black, and the letters by Nikki Powers. That's my team.
Nikki
Okay, cool.
Powers. That's a great name for anyone anywhere.
It really is. Yeah, she's a great collaborator.
Yeah, no,
And it looked
and
the,
that's a key because like there are some like one man show kind of people I've met who can do almost everything.
I'm not that talented. I'm the writer on this. I wrote the script. I lead the team. Project manager. Seabats, I'm sorry, he actually has a wife and kids. He's actually a very good father, by the way. So, sorry.
Oh, Christ.
Bonk.
Anyway,
So the tone of your story, it's I assume it's probably all ages. There's nothing too crazy in here. or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah, all ages. Because basically the origin of this is because I had a comic book that I was doing before this called Torn Samurai. I'm still doing it. But that was like a mature audience's comic. And when I go to cons, no, he's not a Yahtzee, so we're good on that. I wouldn't work with him otherwise. But a lot of people are like, hey, we like your comic, but we're buying for our kid, and it's mature audiences. So I wanted to create a comic book that was mature audiences, but also mass appeal, like more because Torn Samurai, it's cool, but it's
you
like
can just say
Cyberpunk
all. You could just say all audiences as well. That's a great underused term.
all audiences. All right, cool. Because like Torn Samurai, it's like a niche for the niche because it's like Cyberpunk Samurai, anime, manga inspired, has its fans, but it's not doesn't really have like the reach. And I created Screecher, and that was like a giant explosion. People do like Screecher.
Sweet.
No,
Oh,
this is not made for the modern audiences. It's made for all audiences.
Yeah, all audiences. There we go. Yeah. If it was made for modern audiences, it would be bad. I'm pretty sure, based on everything else. I've seen.
No, Herman, I will not be doing that. And then the other big thing about this might not matter much to you guys, but I'm from Michigan, and I deliberately set my comics in and around my hometown. So the thing about Screecher is she's located in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it might not matter to you guys, but to some people it does, and I just want to mention that.
So did you like? Is there actual local places kind of referenced in there and things of that nature, and you just change the names? Or?
Yep, exactly. Like in the first issue, she goes to the Jackson prison. In this issue, she actually goes to my favorite burger place, and whatnot. And we shout that out. It's pretty cool.
Nice. That's good.
And you actually have the name of the place in the book, or is it just like a?
Yes, it's the name of the place.
Oh, cool. And is the establishment aware that they now exist in comic book form?
No.
Oh, I guess maybe if you got to be careful there. It'd be cool to let them know, but maybe it'd cause problems. I don't know.
He could do the
Unless
anime
you got
thing. It's
permission. You got permission, right?
It's Mick Ronald.
I'm operating under the philosophy of it's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Oh man, how cool would it be though? Like if they were okay with it and they're like, "We love this. We're gonna make the Screecher burger." And
That
then
would be
it's like the
pretty
whole
cool,
thing.
dude.
I mean, I'll probably show them, and if they ask me to take it out, in the next edition, I'll like do some generic version or something.
They got bought out by a shitty
Put in their competitor.
Oh,
It
jeez.
can be a threat. Like, you want me to take it out?
I literally
Yeah,
go
gotta-
across the street, and they say, "Heck yeah!"
Yeah. So if this was a burger, what would be the Screecher burger here? Because now I'm thinking of the burger.
The real question.
Oh,
I think Justin's just hungry.
it would
It's
probably
11 o'clock,
be
disturbing.
Angus beef, tomato, jalapeno peppers,
Okay.
Tabasco sauce.
Oh wow,
Oh, why?
spicy. Okay.
Because the point is, when you bite in it, you screech in pain.
Oh, I see. I like it.
I figure that, and I would actually, yeah.
The point is, the burger is so ungodly hot, you can't get more than 2 bites in without screeching in pain.
Oh, jeez. You had me at
Well-
first, but if it's that hot, you can't even enjoy the thing. But
We started putting the people got used to the spice, so we started just using razor blades. It worked better.
Oh God! Hi, OSHA. I'd like to make a complaint, please.
there you go.
Hey, you signed the waiver, man. All right.
Yes, and waivers are always legally binding.
Yeah, no, my dad used to do bicycle tours, and they had a whole bunch of lawyers there one day, and it was just like, hey, can you sign these liability waivers? They're like, oh yeah, they all signed it right away. It's like, oh, that was fast. I thought you guys maybe wouldn't want to sign them. They're like, oh, well, if someone's really liable, this doesn't mean anything. So,
All right. No, I'm just sharing. I was listening, but I think it's that time. Let's talk about Yas Queen.
I don't know what this means.
Whatever that means.
what AC? You did
AC,
this. What do
elaborate.
you mean? I thought your screen was frozen, but you're just not moving. Oh wait, is his screen frozen?
Is he frozen?
Is he Yas
Oh,
Queen
he
again?
was, yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's doing his teleportation trick that he does.
AC.
Oh no, he's. What does Yas
we
Queen
need
mean?
elaboration on the subject of what we're going to be talking about.
He's demonstrating right now what Yas Queen is. We could always come back and do cycles first if we need to.
Oh, do we have to do cycles again?
Yes.
Well, I guess we didn't really talk about cycles properly.
Yes.
We were talking about like bicycles and
Actual
motorcycles.
bicycles and stuff.
Bicycle. Bicycle.
All right, I guess. All right, let me. Fuck, I was muted that whole time. All right, no, what I was saying is like, yeah, we didn't, we talked about bicycles, so let's talk about cycles of the apocalypse, right? Let's talk, like, and it's really it really sucks. Maybe this would have been a better topic to have like with a female guest on, like,
Yeah, I think there's
right. Yeah, because usually when you're talking about cycles, and
Oh
the
God!
apocalypse,
Oh God! No!
Well, yeah.
No!
You-
Yeah,
Nick
obviously,
finally
somebody
figured
who
it out.
actually
I-
experiences that stuff.
There's a couple. It's worth discussing. And a massive issue during an apocalypse. You're going to have population collapse, and not only are you going to have a population collapse, you're going to have limited access to modern medicines that can help facilitate and guaranteeing pregnancy and such. So,
I think a cycle may be responsible.
It'd be more
for the
critical,
apocalypse.
really,
You
than
get
at
enough
any
women in
point
one
ever in
place.
history. If
Yeah.
you
The
think
cycle
about it,
is the most
for the
important
sustenance
thing
of the human race.
during the apocalypse. It's more important than it's almost more important than food, right? Like, as long as you have enough food to get to the cycle, right? That
Wait, I'm confused. I am so confused.
we're talking about cycles, So
What kind of
and
cycle?
Bicycles? For the the type of person that has the cycle, comfort is something that you have
what do
to
you mean-
worry
what do you
about.
mean?
So
What
Yeah,
I
kind
don't
of
really
cycle
know
are
where
you
you're
talking about?
reading some of the boxes, I'm seeing Tampax. Like, hopefully, you think that would
What?
last through the apocalypse? That we could, be helpful for women to be able to get through the cycle.
Maybe they'll just start trading for socks during the cycles of the apocalypse.
Yeah, I don't know how long. I don't know what the shelf life is on those kinds of products, but that would,
Oh
that's something you
my
have to
God.
consider
As
in
long
the
as they don't
apocalypse.
get
for
wet,
sure.
I mean, they're probably fine, right?
I mean, does anyone know maybe a makeshift way to get through the cycle? Because I mean, depending on the apocalypse, that might not comfort might be might have
Some
to
of the more
old school.
natural ones I think are like hemp infused, so I don't know if you could.
I imagine there will be.
But then you
people
get
who
into
have
you got to
cycles
grow
who will
things,
just-
which is tricky.
Okay,
they won't.
okay,
They won't.
next
They
topic,
won't
please.
seek comfort anymore because it will be so hard to reach. So they'll just be like, "We don't need anything. We'll just suffer."
Toilet paper.
Thank you, Seabats.
Yes. All right. Well, anyways, I think it's an important topic, right? Like cycles.
Well, now that you've
cycles of
lost half your
apocalypse.
audience.
I don't know what you're talking about. Our audience
You
loves
went
to talk
from
about
2
cycles
to
of the
1.
apocalypse. 2 to 1. What's going on here?
You went from 2 people here to 1. You lost half your audience.
In
Not to
Africa,
mention,
they just sit in
we
the
got to
bucket.
think during the cycle, mood.
Do you think
stress
they'll be
levels.
Do you think they'll be asking for universal buckets, like a universal income during the apocalypse?
I mean, yeah,
Like,
it's not a
see,
bad.
that's
I mean,
why
demonstrates
I guess it
pretty
depends on what
in
government
Africa,
is
they
in
just
place,
sit on a
like what
bucket,
the.
so.
But if you're going to become a warlord in the apocalypse,
It's like we
you
don't
gotta
need
think
to
about
vote,
these
but we
things.
do need buckets.
Yeah.
I disavow all of this. I am not a part of this conversation.
Why would you disavow this? This is
Because
This
it's
is important- this is
disgusting,
an
and I
important
want
topic.
nothing to do with this.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of logistics, a lot of feelings.
Yeah, these are a lot of times when people think about the apocalypse, they just think about like the surface level stuff. But when you really start digging down into the deeper topics,
Yeah,
it's
like the motorcycles of the apocalypse and the cycles of people during the apocalypse.
Yeah,
no, there's so much to
transportation. We
talk
covered that last time. We covered cycles of the apocalypse. So we're doing 2.0 because 1.0
What
is
else?
about
What
you know
else would we
wheeled
talk
transportation
about? Like we're
without gas.
you tell us, you bring up the topic, cycles of apocalypse. We're talking about cycles of apocalypse. Like,
Yeah. I don't know what else he could have meant. We thought it was bicycles. He said that wasn't it. So we figured
Yeah.
this had to be it.
Yeah, and they're obviously right. This is a very important topic. Like, what are we going to do if
I
if
don't
half
know.
the
If you guys don't want to
population-
take the cycles seriously, that's up to you.
I think anyone who doesn't just hates women. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
I think we broke his brain, bro.
AC, what was the what did you mean by Yas Queen?
Giggle, let the kid laugh, and don't answer.
Or it won't.
We'll never find out what Yas Queen
Or-
means.
And we're never going to get
Slay.
the cycles of apocalypse
Slay,
either, I
Yas
guess,
Queen.
either.
AC,
We
you're
don't
not
know what
allowed
that
to
means,
pick the
AC.
subjects anymore. Oh, Christ almighty.
So the joke was that
Yes.
1 week, AC picked Cycles of the Apocalypse, but then wasn't available on the stream for some reason, so we had to run with it. And so this is the second time that we were like, we're gonna do this as a joke, but I think,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he's just letting us roll.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's how we do. That's how we do.
No,
right,
but
so
seriously,
we got-
if you can elaborate on Yas Queen, that'd be great.
Yeah, I
What
saw
did
it
you
there, and I
mean?
didn't understand what Yas Queen was.
Yeah.
Was it Queen characters and stories, or?
I don't think Justin knows the Yas Queen thing, so.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right,
Queen.
you guys have fun. I'm gonna take off.
All right, have a good one, man.
Thanks for coming on, man.
I
Thanks for
appreciate you
suffering
stopping by.
them a little bit.
Appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Hey,
Cheers,
guys.
brother.
Peace.
Yes, Queen.
Yo, AC, could you give us like a legitimate answer instead of just trying to troll us right now?
Well, I don't even know how good my.
Oh, no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
crapping out, dude.
Here. So, there goes the internet again.
All right. Well, we trolled the last topic.
There you go. There.
What? Oh, we can hear you now.
It's hopeless,
Okay.
dude.
Okay. Oh my God. Do we want to talk about anything else? We have been going for an hour and a half. I did want to talk about
We
space
can talk
operas
about
a little
something
bit
else,
more.
man.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
What? I was saying we should probably just talk about space operas a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that. Like again, like modern examples you can find in some books, but like movies, like Dune is maybe the only one that's, and that barely qualify. Like Dune qualifies. It doesn't have the same. It's a little less heroic than when I picture space opera. It's a little more cynical, a little less optimistic about the future. What do you guys think about that?
What was more optimistic about the future?
When I imagine
trying to
space
mainstream
opera like as a storytelling kind of group or a way to tell a story, like it seems like things can be dour, but there's always kind of I don't know. Dune seems a pretty cynical
Dune's
for
kind of a
space
little bit
opera.
more counter to what you typically think about a space opera, but it definitely fits the category of it, right?
It does fit the category.
And-
it just is tonally very different from what you expect from a space opera.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not, I feel like it's one of those genres too that doesn't need to be all like tight, like how I am with some of them about like no, it's not grimdark, right? Like I feel like it's very loosey goosey with that, but like I also don't think it's like I said, I don't think we have too many space operas. Like I
Modern
don't
ones?
feel
Yeah,
like it's
Dune is maybe the only like we watched the Juniper Ascending. That was definitely a space opera. It just wasn't a very especially good
Juniper
one.
was just saying yes was.
And the only other recent ones that I was trying to pull up a list of like recent space operas. The only stuff I could come across was the one that Zack Snyder made recently, Rebel Moon.
That
Rebel Moon.
Yeah,
Rebel
because I was trying to
Moon,
find more
yeah.
recent examples that are not Star
Oh,
Wars,
man.
and there's just not. It's almost
a
as hard as
trash
trying to find a
film.
movie with a male redhead lead. It's
Flash
like,
Gordon, right? Flash Gordon is a
you
big
know,
space opera.
Sure, but we're going way back in time for that. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the 80s, right? Or is that late 70s even?
Yeah.
Well, like my favorite book series of all time is kind of it's like Dune. It is inspired by Dune partially, but it's a little bit less psychedelic and weird in some ways. I don't know. I really it is a space opera, but it definitely is less optimistic than you would picture when you picture a space opera. Kind of a similar problem that Yeah, well, would John Carter operate? Yeah, Herman, does John?
Oh yeah, John Carter is definitely a. Oh,
I don't know.
It's on
yeah,
the list.
Like,
It
it's
came
just
up
on
on the list
Mars.
for-
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind.
It
It's
does have
basically a
that
fantasy
feel.
book on Mars.
They used to have a term for that, right? Because that was like, especially when that book was popular.
That
it
book
was like
came
a
out.
whole
I think it was. I think it was Slay Queen.
Oh fucking Christ!
Came back for that. You don't.
Yeah, no, but I think what it is just I want more of that fantasy feel of knights that you get from Star Wars, but I want it in a more sci-fi-ish setting. And it's like, besides Star Wars, what else scratches that itch? Because I ain't getting it from fucking Star Wars anymore.
Red Rising, dude. I'm freaking telling
Red Rising.
you.
I'll get to it. Yeah. After
What about
I'm done
like
with
Serenity? Would that
Sanderson
count?
Books. What's that?
I was like, how do like
Serenity.
I always warn people because like the first one like sets up this expectation of what you want, and it is the worst book in the series. I still like it. Like I really like book 1. Book 2 is my favorite fiction book of all time. That's how big the jump is.
Are you talking about the secret
Red Rising?
projects?
Yeah.
Planet Babel is not a space opera. It doesn't take place in space at all.
A Space Odyssey.
Oh, I thought your book did take place in space.
I mean,
I mean,
they're in Mars at some point, but
Okay.
We're talking like
Like-
alternate reality kind of
Yeah.
stuff, though, or dimension kind of thing. Yeah.
interdimensional
Well, I was saying,
clockwork
does
elves.
Serenity count? It does, right?
Yeah,
Firefly?
Yeah, Serenity definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
I love that
Firefly.
movie.
I
We should-
almost like does Firefly count? Like I know it's the same thing technically,
Mm-hmm.
but
I never watched that show because
Oh man.
that show was so good.
everybody
What do you
says it's
mean?
so good, but like
Yeah.
you never get any more. So I'm like, okay, why would I disappoint myself?
The movie
It's not
is
disappointment. You
excellent.
watch a
It's-
season, you have fun with it, you watch the movie, and you're done.
No,
then
but
you're
like
done.
disappointment comes from the fact that there's no continuation.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It's better than
like,
a show or movie that go like a book series that goes on too long, though.
Sure.
A lot of things suffer from that.
Yeah,
That
it's
is,
a
but, like,
bummer we
it
didn't get a few
didn't
more
have, like-
seasons, but
I mean, I thought the first season was like nothing of an ending. You know what I mean?
well, that's
the
why they did the
movie, and
movie.
that's why you
Serenity
have to
kind of
watch the
ties up
movie,
those
too.
loose ends and all that. So you do have a
Yeah.
conclusion of sorts. It's just the way that they branched
Herman, what
there.
is Battle Beyond the Stars? Is that a book? Is that a movie? Is that a show? I like the name. I've never heard of it though.
But let's go back to Dune,
it's a
for
movie.
example. Like, from an economic, like you're talking about intergalactic economics, right? With the one planet, which I'm kind of a Dune hater, mostly
Oh,
because I
are
felt
you?
I was so disappointed by it. You know, like
The movies
anything
or
that
the
was like
books?
Yeah, which one?
the
Which
books.
version?
I read the books a few.
Oh, the books, okay.
Years ago.
The books fall off hard at some point.
I only books. I only read the first one.
Okay.
And I was just disappointed because I was like, it just his writing style, but like there was a lot of like issues.
Oh yeah,
I
he
had
does a
with
third person omniscient, so you can jump heads in the middle of a like conversation, and yeah.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of things weren't earned. It was like we talk about riding the worms, and then the next page he's riding the worms, and I get it. That's what the story's meant to be because he's
I think the
prophesized or whatever.
movie
I'm
did
like,
that part better, actually. Just because
I haven't seen the second movie.
Dude, it's I love that movie.
I enjoyed the first movie.
I really like that movie.
Yeah, I felt like it would never be able to translate to film, but I felt I enjoyed the first film more than I enjoyed the book, which is probably opposite of what a lot of people feel. But like one of the biggest things for me was like the shielding system pissed me off because I'm like, you're trying to tell me that
It is weird. It is weird.
it can just block anything, and I'm like, you have nothing powerful enough to take down the shield, but you can just wear it as
no,
a
you can't take
personal
it down.
armor.
You just have it takes a lot of oomph and
Oh, it takes laser,
like more,
right?
More oomph than an individual is usually carrying.
Yeah, no, it takes a laser. And do you know what
If
happens
only they
when?
had lasers in space.
Yeah, but do you know what happens though? Like, well, a
Yeah,
certain
it
type
feeds
of laser.
back.
It feeds back. It
Creates a
reverberates
loop.
somehow, which is
creates a loop.
retarded. Yeah, but then you know how you solve that? Just fly a fucking drone and laser somebody. I'm like everybody's got like these nukes attached to them. I'm I'm like, this sounds stupid.
I
And then somebody's like, oh yeah, they actually do that later in one of the books. I'm like, yeah, no shit. If I figure it out in 2 seconds, why aren't all the billion of fucking people in this universe figuring it out?
Well, like that. Like here's the thing. Like they're in Red Rising because again, it is inspired heavily by Dune. They don't have that kind of shield. They have. It's just a pulse shield. It reacts to things, but you can just overload it. Like he's like,
yes.
Like someone next to him is like, oh, they have armor. He's like, oh, well, I have a pulse fist. Bang, 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 bang. Oh no, the shield didn't work.
Well, that's
anymore.
that's typically how they do it, but like it was designed in a way so it forced people to do the knife fighting, specifically because of like you had to go in a certain speed, right, to get under the thing.
You have to go slowly, which is
you
very
have to get slow.
counterintuitive in fighting, which is. I thought it created an interesting dynamic with fighting, which I appreciate.
It did. I had issues with it, and if it doesn't create an issue for other people, that's fine. It's just for me, I'm like bullshit.
I'm gonna use my voice for you real quick and voice Herman's comment.
The shielding system, which doesn't actually exist in real life, really pissed me off. So unrealistic. Okay.
No, and then I do prefer the shielding because like that's the type of stuff that I really get interested in with sci-fi when they got like an interesting technology and how it works. But if I feel like it's like okay, this is broken or something like that, then then it just kind of ruins it for me. So I do like the typical, and I do it in my book. It gets like enough kinetic force or something like that, and it overloads it, right?
It's not realistic.
What do you mean?
I'm just fucking with you.
I feel like that's got to be one of the toughest things about writing a space opera or a
That's
sci-fi
the
novel
main
is
reason
where you
I
get
have
to a
not
point
written
with
sci-fi.
technology.
I don't
it's like
think. Yeah.
where the limits of that and thinking about all these different angles and stuff. I could
Oh,
even
it's
see
100% arbitrary line. Yeah.
thinking you have it all there, and then you get halfway through your story and you're like, oh no, this is one thing I didn't think about until this happened.
And the chat is just being degenerate.
Well, that's why you have your beta readers or my wife who just lets you know you're being retarded.
Sure. I guess it's the kind of thing too. If you get deep enough into it, you could be like, can I just invent some new tech at this point that would
you
help?
have to.
Like,
like fantasy does the same thing. They have like magical ore, magical energy. Where does it come from? It's like not
traveling
everybody's
faster
a
than light.
Sanderson. Yeah.
You have to
FTL
make
travel,
something up because nobody knows how that would even be possible.
Yeah, it's interesting when someone comes up with an idea. It's like a plausible explanation. Or it's like you go with the Dune route, which is basically there is no faster than light travel. You you cryo tube everyone, and actually the Sun Eater series does the same thing. It's like like the main guy, he leaves his planet and they get off course. So when he finally gets woken up out of the cycles, his younger brother, who was a couple years younger than him, it's been like 50 years. So his brother is going to be like an old man if they ever see each other again, or at least an older guy. So it's like
weird.
the weird space travel BS, basically. But yeah.
Yeah.
Sun Eater is so good, dude. I love that. I really.
What was it that spiky time traveling?
What?
I'm trying to think of a book series.
Sonic?
No, it's like a metallic spiky.
The Whipping Star?
No.
Frank?
Like 6 people go to pilgrim to this place that is like a time goes backwards there.
This place that is like
it's gonna bother me because I can't remember it's a really popular book series.
Is it called Yas Queen? Is that why you can't think of exactly?
It's like the shriek. The thing is called the shriek in it. Cantos.
Shuriken?
Fuck. No. Wait, my wife.
know what
Hyperion. Yeah, Hyperion. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And I totally forgot where I was going to go with that point because it took me so long to remember what the fuck I was trying to think of.
They just said it as soon as you said it.
Yeah, I don't. No, I read that. I read it. That's why I knew it.
That was a hell of a way to say it. Space condoms from. Thank you, Herman. Thank you for all the space condoms.
But I don't know.
Oh, Christ Almighty.
Either.
But
way.
yeah, like most of the time, I don't like harder sci-fi. I prefer the space opera, more heroic fantasy level sci-fi. I like good stories and good characters. The science, I know, like very few authors can make me care about the science, with the exception of Michael Crichton. Like when he writes and talks about concepts in a way to make you feel smart. And
How much of a Philip Dick have you read?
Oh, Philip Dick. Okay, sorry, I heard that differently. Anyway. Oh, Christ Almighty!
Philip Pritchard.
Not a lot. I've read a little bit.
I see. That's like hard sci-fi, and to me, I love those books. I like myself with really good sci-fi where I'm just like, how does this technology affect the world?
No, I enjoy that too, but I'll never like that more than I like a good space opera.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kahuna. That's Did you guys play the Mass Effect series? I'm bummed for multiple reasons. That
I
we
watched my brother play.
Drove
through,
away
like,
our
2
guests,
games
but
in
because
their
you could have talked about
entirety.
that.
The gameplay was garbage, and I didn't like it. But the lore in the game is interesting.
Oh man, Mass Effect is awesome. It's the thing is,
gameplay
like,
sucks cock, dude.
No, it's totally the gameplay's totally
which
fine.
one?
There's
The
nothing wrong with
gameplay
it.
is much different in like all
The
three.
first one. The first one.
It's fine in all three.
I can see that because like what really pissed me off was like you're just completely useless with a rifle if you're not in a soldier class.
Oh, I've only ever been the soldier, so I'll have to take your word on that.
Yeah, no. If you're like you literally can't. You can fire it, but like you can't like look down the scope. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been years since I played. But, like
I'm sure they
garbage. That's what I
you can only fire the weapons of your class, and especially how young it was really confusing because I'm like, why can't I just use a fucking rifle? It's like,
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, in any case, my broader point is if we're going to space, I want to go to space. I want to go to different planets. I want there to be all kinds of weird alien races. I want them
weird
intermingling.
cultures
I
and all
want
that stuff, too.
that big scope. I can't stand whenever there's
Yes.
space stories and they go to like one planet. Or they never make it. I can't stand movies where they're just in a ship the whole time. It's not even a cool ship. It's just like a low budget ship, one of those. Oh,
well,
it drives me crazy.
I
it
it's just
works
about
for different
like we have
stories,
drama
though.
on the ship. It's just people having people problems, and it's basically just a actual soap opera, but in space. That I'm like, nah, I'm with Kahuna. I like the
well, it
adventure.
depends. Like something like
being
Pitch
out of
Black.
space.
Like something like Pitch Black. I really dig that. You
That's
know?
a good one.
Wait, Pitch Black
Yeah,
was just on a ship.
Actually,
I
you
thought
know
they
a
went to
good
a planet in
example of
that.
that?
Well,
No, it was
they go to a
Japan
planet,
planet.
but yeah.
iRobot,
Yeah.
the book, not the movie, but the book is a bunch of short stories, and some of them do take place in space, and it's kind of like that. It's like basically a bunch of short stories, like basically going through possible scenarios of what would happen if we created AI and these androids, so to say, like these robots that could think for themselves and like all the possible dangers of it. It's basically asking the question, like asking questions, and I
Yeah,
really like that book.
I really enjoy those stories, but like like you guys said, preferring fantasy. Yeah, I do prefer fantasy. There's just something like that sparkle, you get like I'm just like there's something perfect about like when I read Fellowship of the Ring when I get that like matchup of the fantasy classes and stuff like that. It's just like that's scratching the biggest itch ever of something I want, right? But what was the series you were talking about before we change real quick, Justin?
Would Halo qualify as a
I was
space
talking
opera?
about Mass Effect. Is that what you're talking about? Or something else?
Mass Effect. Oh, dude, but Mass Effect. Holy hell, man! The power system in there with the I can't believe you only played a soldier. That's so fucking lame.
That was awesome.
It's-
Tank everything, man.
Yeah, well, there's other ways to tank, but like the psychic, psychonic, or whatever that was called, those powers are super interesting, and how certain races were like affected by that. Just the genealogy or whatever the term would be of the different races of Mass Effect.
The bad guys,
love
the
that
big
stuff.
bads, they were cool conceptually and terrible. In
Which big bads?
execution.
The Reapers.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah,
And then
well, it's
the
like
Krogans were really cool, and the lizard people and that whole dynamic there, where the lizard scientist
blue
guys had to
chicks.
like genocide them to make sure that they didn't get to be too many because they're such a warlike people that if there were too many, they would inevitably take war to the entire universe. They had to do this.
I'm the
horribly
only one
unethical
with
thing
access
like,
to
Bro, the
aggressive
blue-
women.
Yeah, and they sterilize
the
them.
hot
It's
blue
wild.
women that can reproduce with any other race.
Yeah, Liara.
And they're like super
Some
psychic powers.
lonely dude.
Yeah, and
wrote
they live
that
for a
in
really
there.
long time. Yeah,
So-
very interesting.
Here's the thing: a lot of people had issues with Mass Effect 3 in the story. And everyone
Yeah.
I always talk to, they always had their saved game data from Mass Effect 2 going into Mass Effect 3. And I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, because I played one on Xbox and the other one on PlayStation, I didn't have my save data. I played a completely different game than everyone else. It is so much better when you don't have the save data. Just because of the circumstances they put you in, because it's like when you have the characters that survived from the second one in the third one, it gives you like an easy out because they have relations with their species or whatever, the race, right? So it gives you an easy out. Without them, it makes the decisions way harder. So with like the lizard race, right? In the third game, you go on a mission. Well, the Solarian was the lizard ones.
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, they were the frog one. They were like the frog one. A lizard one, I'm talking about the Krogans. When you go to potentially cure their species,
Oh yeah,
right?
they have like that disease that kills like
Yeah.
most of them. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it kills most because they reproduce at such a high rate, and they're also like super murderous.
Yeah.
But it's reduced to so much that they're about to literally die out. So they're going to be genocided. And the Solarian that you have from the second game, or the first one maybe, he's with you in the third game no matter what. And he's like, I'm going to go fix this. I'm going to put it right. I'm going to do that. Now, if
Grunt.
yeah, if not the Solarian, not the Krogan. Now, if you played the second game, you have like Grunt or one of those other one of the Krogans from the previous games that's there to lead the Krogans after you fix the genocide. And he's cool. You know him. He's good. He's going to lead the people to a different lifestyle. If you don't have him, you have some douchebag that's literally like, I'm going to go straight back to murdering the galaxy. I can't wait. And then so when you have your buddy who's like, I'm going to go fix it. I'm like, but dude, if you fix it, they're going to come after us. And so I shot him.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you took the renegade option.
well, yeah, because I was like, I didn't know I was going to shoot him. I thought I was just going to like hold him down or something. So I chose the renegade and I shot him.
No, man.
And I'm
Shepard
like, oh
don't
man,
take no prisoners.
I feel so bad. And then they make you
I had
watch.
to stop him. He had it coming.
He's like in the elevator dying, and they make you watch him go all the way up to the tower to go press the button, and he like dies right before he's able to press it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, early teens, and I'm like, just reevaluating my whole fucking life and what decision I just made, and I'm like,
Why did I do that?
am I a shitty person?
Oh man, there are
And
some
I'm
tough
like-
choices in that game too, though, like that where
Yeah.
Well,
And
like,
I'm like,
this
man,
brings up,
real
this brings
great
up a broader point as well, because you have like basically two major types of space operas. One's where it's just humans in the universe, and then the other where it's humans and aliens.
Yep.
And the
And I
dynamic
prefer
is
those.
always very different going from one to the other.
Oh, for sure. If we're going to space, give me some aliens. That's how I feel about it.
Most of the time I agree, but I've read some books, I've seen some movies where it was just humans. I'm like, this is also really good. I don't know. Like I didn't feel like I was missing. As long as the cultures are diverse and things are explained in a way that make as long as things are interesting, it doesn't
It's
matter.
like we
Fine,
always
but I
say, it
just feel
depends on
like-
the story.
You're closing that imagination door, and I'm like, why? Open it up. Let's get like, I don't know, space dragons or something.
It depends. Is
Space
it
Space wizards.
imagination doors wide open.
Space
just like his
castles.
heart.
You guys following me so far? You could have space horses. I don't know. Space elves with space bows. I mean, it's endless, really.
Space elves with space elf bows.
You get
Would-
space hobbits.
Now, like, let's say like the Fifth Element. What if that only had humans besides like the evil planet?
Would
Would
it
it-
affect anything really?
Yeah, would it?
Like not dramatically,
I mean-
but it's also a terrible example of this kind of thing because it's not well written.
It's yeah, but it's like it's something I think
Even-
of right
Even
off
if
the
it's
bat.
wouldn't really change that much, at least it's more of an interesting visual, and the guys they bring in can like change their face to look human or whatever.
Yeah, but like
that was
instead of having a blue space opera chick, like you could just have Padme doing opera.
lame. I want the blue, 9 foot tall.
I don't know.
rubber
Padme's
suit
kind
chick.
of weirder
now,
looking.
In concept, I agree with Justin. I want the attractive blue woman. I just want her to look like a blue alien, not like a woman in wearing blue rubber tentacle hentai costume.
I don't know. I like the weird designs. It's a chance for somebody to get creative.
Yeah,
even if
look in
there's
Star
no
Wars, they
deeper
did the same
explanation.
thing, but they were good.
Yeah, I mean, well, not everything's a home run, but it's okay. Singles are fine.
Yeah, some are a homo run. Yeah, look at that whole.
Hey, a base hit is still a base hit, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Thanks, baseball.
Yeah, that's like, oh man, the different. So I would say, as much as I like the Star Wars universe, it's like I genuinely find that type of use of aliens boring, where it's just like them being a different alien species doesn't really matter. It's not like Mass
It
Effect where
should
it's
matter.
such a big difference between all the different alien species.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But
like,
I still stand by, given the choice of just humans or let's just make these guys weird because we're in space, I still teeter towards that direction, even if it doesn't matter.
I
Obviously, it's better
understand,
in a
but-
Mass Effect where their alien races do impact relations on. That makes way more sense. But
Like, in
given
the- in
only
the-
the option
in
of
the-
people or something weird, I'm going something weird.
In the
Well, if they're
hands of
doing
a
a really
good
hard sci-fi-
writer, people can be like, especially in a galaxy spanning group of people, the diversity just amongst those people and cultures and in ways they look and act can be so dramatically different. They basically are alien, which is also a
I mean,
point.
you could say the exact same thing with the reverse of like, if you're going to give me a fantasy universe, how are you not going to give me like elves at least?
Oh,
which
I
you can
have
look at
elves. You
very
won't
easily,
them, but
like-
they're there.
George R. R. Martin, A Song of Ice and Fire. Like, there's really barely any. There's the Children of the Forest and the
Targaryens. The Targaryens are kind of meant to be like a depleted elf line in a way.
Well, the Targaryens are they're basically Melniboneans, honestly.
Yeah,
Which
like
are
dark elves.
like people, kind of,
Yeah.
in a way. So,
but they like aesthetically. There's nothing. They're not even immortal.
Right.
Like as far as like.
well, what about the
Like-
the others? The others in
They're kind of elf-like, but they're
Yeah, there's.
yeah.
What's the other?
Those also
They're
I don't care.
ethereal.
Like, I don't care if he never finishes those books. They're very very good, and I enjoy reading them.
and he's made a difference. But yeah, the others are like ethereal. I see what you're saying about the children. The children are kind of like a cross between elves and dwarves, but put in the forest. Basically, they're described as they have like doe skin. So if you think of like a fawn, like the spots a fawn has.
Oh,
have
they're
that
way
kind of
different
stuff.
in the show. Yeah, they.
Yeah,
in the
way
show.
different. Yeah, they're clearly not human in the book. You look at it and you're like, what are you? You know?
The others in the books are so much scarier than in the movies.
Yeah, in the
show
books
as
they're
well.
like ghosts. They're
Yeah, and
spirits.
like their
Yeah.
armor is like silver and like light works
Yeah.
runs off it differently, and it's
Yeah.
Also,
It's like-
animation overload with the Targaryens.
yeah, Targaryens.
What were the
yeah.
characters? It was like an elf, but they were like a grand elf. Gandalf.
Gandalf.
Oh, that stupid
Rings of Power.
guys! I'm willing to suffer for this show and things we watch. I will not watch Rings of Power.
Oh yeah, no chance.
You cannot make me.
We're not going to. You're all right.
Like if
I am
we want to
listening
watch
to
a,
Lord of the Rings.
if we want to have a fantasy show with an actual discussion, we could talk about like House of the Dragon, because there are good points and bad points as well, and plenty of them. That being said, I don't think Justin can make it through that show.
I would need the yeah. It's
Dude,
pretty
so
gruesome.
as the only person watching, it's so bad. It's not even funny. Like it's
The
just
Grand
it was
Elf thing,
so
I
boring.
thought it was fake. I didn't think it
Yeah,
was real.
I wanted to think it was fake, but then I'm like, no, they're just gonna do whatever. It's just silliness. But
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
bad.
listening to Lord of the Rings. It's been a very long time. I forgot most of that book. I've seen the movies
I
so
need
many
to read,
times that
yeah.
in my head the movies are the book. I'm like re-listening, like when the hell are they gonna get to the Bree? It's like the Bombadil for like 1,000 pages. I'm like,
Yeah,
don't remember
that's
this
the
being this
criticism.
long.
with Fellowship, it takes too long to start off, and especially like he didn't need to get a lot of the back information on like, the hobbits and stuff.
I didn't remember it being so long because the movie it moves a lot faster by cutting that stuff out.
But,
so I'm like rereading it.
man,
I'm like, this is
some of those like I will tell you like, you know, I didn't read the books before the movies, but like if I did, I would have been so pissed about the death of Boromir. Because the lament for of Boromir, that song, like gets me emotional. Like when I especially listening to that on Audible. Like, dude, it's just such a good like, it's such a banger song, and it's just like, you know, just talking about his like achievements and how good of a person he is, and it's just like I don't know, it just hits so well.
That scene hits me in the movie every single time too. It's rough,
Yeah.
dude.
But cause I remember
Justin,
just,
you're
like, getting
muted,
emotional
bud.
with that.
I said I forgot about all the songs in the first book. Like a lot of them. There's way more than I remembered, and certain
Oh,
There
things
are
like
a lot of
this is the
songs
first time.
in
The one
all
where
of the books.
Sam Weiss is just making up the song, and he's like, "Oh, we was riding a horse, Krona, Drona, and we went over to the place.
I cannot
Hippo,
believe you
Dapu."
remember it.
And then he goes next one, and he says like donor, boner. And I was like, no way!
Bro.
I had to rewind it to crack me up.
Dude, books fantasy needs more songs in their books. Like every time I listen to Lord of the Rings, I'm like,
Got you
man,
covered.
they
If
need.
only
I
there's
know.
someone
I
out
read
there.
I read your first chapter, but I'm like, dude, because like it's not a problem, but like every time like I'm listening to or reading a book or whatever, and they're like, and then they sang a song of this, and they don't like go over the lyrics or anything like that, and I'm like, dude, come on.
That's one criticism I have specifically for a book I really like, and a lot of people don't. That is Name of the Wind. I really like that book, but he's a musician, and they only give us a couple lines of lyric for like some of his songs and any of the songs.
just it's a book. Write it out. Just write it out, man.
Yeah,
Like we can skip it if it's that boring, but
And if there's sheet music there, you know there's going to be people that will play it, and then you can hear it that way too. If there's anybody that knows how to read sheet music,
Who would
and
put
can
sheet
possibly
music in a
translate-
book?
Could possibly translate and record this thing so I can hear it, because
us
I can't
people
read sheet
have,
music well
dude.
enough to hear the
It's
song in my
happening.
head, and I'm very curious what these songs would sound like if an author happened to put them in a book that's coming out in a
That's
couple months here.
insane. Somebody would
well,
do
like
that.
the name of the
Imagine-
Wind
can you
is
imagine?
popular enough. People have taken the lyrics that exist and written sheet music for it and used old instruments to like make us a real song of it. I'm like, this song's awesome. It's great.
Wait,
It's
copyright
fantastic.
issues? I'm curious what he means by this. Why would copyright be an issue?
People don't have creativity to write good lyrics to copyright issues. Oh, like for
Oh no, I mean like you're making up your own song, like so there's no copyright issue. But like I'm not saying to copy one, but hey, with that, like we're right at the 2-hour mark, and also talking about books with lyrics and stuff and that and sheet music. I'm gonna share a little surprise for some, which is kind of like the ultimate spoiler, but I really don't care about, especially with this book, spoilers, because I can spoil every fucking thing I wanted to, and it wouldn't make a difference.
Why would it
This
not
is-
make any difference?
Because it's not gonna ruin the enjoyment one bit. Because
Okay, it's kind of a dwarf take, but whatever.
but yeah, this is the illustration I just recently had done by Matt from Metal Movies and Brewskis. So it's the 3 hammers for my upcoming book. yeah. So
the
Old
Dunce
Brever.
Whisperer.
yeah, the Dunce Whisperer. Yeah, and it was great because I didn't give him much description because I have a couple artists working on different illustrations, and
nice.
I gave him vague descriptions because I expect the characters to come looking out differently because it's a book. Imagine him how he will, right? Like you see this image, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what he looks like. It's,
Plus,
whatever
it's
you're
good to
imagining.
let artists have a bit of breathing room to
Yeah.
like actually be creative and figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love him. Like, hey, man, he asked me, like, a facial description of him. I'm like, just make him look like a dweb.
Can we zoom in on the face? Can we get a little closer to that? Can we
He
get-
goes to your Twitter profile. All right, got it.
Nailed it.
So good.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
The main dude looks like the lead from Death Clock, whose name escapes
Oh my
me.
gosh.
Yeah. I mean, because
Death Clock
I
should have
just,
won.
I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, this is such like a metal interpretation, and I'm like, yeah, this is Matt's style, right?
Oh, Nathan Explosion. That's who I'm thinking of.
Oh my god.
But yeah, dig it. Looking forward to the rest of the stuff to come through.
Look like
But
a dweeb.
yeah.
The guy on the
So-
far left looked exactly how I pictured him in my head, for the record. The other guy's ish, but the one on the left, the troll, whatever his thing was, I can't remember. Orc, what was he? Whatever he was, that's how
he's
I
dwarf.
imagined him.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
dwarf?
He
Okay,
nailed
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And yeah, no, Matt's been a great friend of mine for a while, and a great friend to the kind of people in this group as well. We had him on a little while back. He did a piece here for
Yeah,
the
sure
Iron
does.
Seas.
Yeah.
I have it. I'm presenting.
Oh, I thought it was my image still.
Nope, there it is. But yeah, no, I get like I told him basically what I wanted. Then he's like, "Well, what if we did this?" I'm like, "Okay, that's better. Let's do that."
I love AC in this.
I know AC is just so dynamic and fun. He's up here.
Yeah, it's like that kick. It doesn't make sense, but it's AC, so it makes perfect sense.
I'm leaping
like,
from
why
one
is
side
he
of the
doing
deck
the
to the
splits in
other.
midair? Does it
Big
help?
smile on his face.
Absolutely.
I'm Mario leaping across. It's great.
Also, we're
Yo,
fighting
More of a
Ins-
split
we're
than like a
fighting
side
Ins
jump. I
Mouthers,
get
which
it
is
now.
great.
I thought you're doing the
Matt
splits like
tends
Van
to make
Damme
his-
style.
Make his people look like really jacked. Like the main character looks pretty jacked in mine. I was like, when he first did, I was like, could you tone that down a little bit? The dude had like massive fucking arms. Oh my
It's because
God.
he comes from a comic book background, and that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah.
That's metal too. You don't like these.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just,
it's like
just
he did
his,
that Western cover for me, and like I told him to like he's like basic description or vibe of the main guy. I'm like 10 foot tall and bulletproof. So the guy looks just massive, and I didn't think about it, but I was like, that's more of an attitude, but this is cool. But yeah, I like how the Justin's axe is obviously just a guitar.
Yeah, I love that too. When I saw, it, I was like, oh, I got an axe. That's sick.
I know he's like, okay, we need to figure out
yeah,
what
it's
kind of
good.
weapons
Like
all of you
I
guys are gonna
spotted everyone out immediately.
And my eyes. Did you see my crazy eyes?
have.
Like,
There they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it came out so good. And the pencils, you would have no idea what was happening in the pencils. That's just how he operates. But yeah, like he's like,
That's-
yeah,
I've
you
seen it
guys
a
shouldn't
lot,
just
yeah.
be sitting there posing. That's boring. You guys should be fighting something. What should you be fighting? I'm like, I don't know. I have some basic pirates kind of sound bad. What about like some Lovecraftian dudes? He's like, oh, that's great. So like Innsmouthers or something else. I'm like, definitely Innsmouthers. We need to send those filthy heathens back to hell.
I like how Kahuna, you have the cannon, not for fighting, just for show. It's an intimidation weapon.
really
It's just to
useful.
scare them. Like, you might
Kahuna.
use that at some point.
He at first had me holding a blunderbuss like this, and it made a lot more sense. But I'm like, I looked, I'm like, could it be a cannon?
Yeah.
He's like, you mean on the ship? I'm like, in my hand.
So besides, he already had. He was like, we didn't know this was coming. Kahuna surprised us with us.
Yeah.
He said he was working when I hit him up. He said he was working on something else, and I'm pretty sure it was this now.
Probably was.
But yeah, man, guys, Twitter, Metal Movies and Brewskis. Matt, he did this really quickly too, and he's very reasonably priced.
He always apologizes
highly
for taking to his time, and I'm like, it was so fast. What do you mean?
Yeah. But yeah, all right. I think now's a good time to end it.
Also, our logo is on the flag, which makes me very happy. That's one of the only
Yeah.
things I
Yeah,
changed
that's cool.
when he started going to.
Yep. No,
All right.
it's awesome. But I feel like we got achievement tonight, boys. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I feel bad. I didn't think it was going to go that way at all, or else I would have been like,
I was not prepared because I didn't read the whatchamacallit. It's like the
the
subjects
topics.
for tonight until I pulled it up, and I'm like, not
We-
again. Why?
Like, we got to mess with
I-
AC again because it's back. So we got to come up with something. And then,
I hit up Justin immediately after. I'm like, do you want to talk about periods instead? He'll fuck with him again. But some people just like It's a joke too far, man. It's a joke too far.
I saw him. I saw him tipping over the scale too of it going too far. It was definitely too far.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
but
noticed at one point. So I'm like, oh no. So
Well,
sorry,
it
man.
was a fun show,
Whatever.
boys. Justin, what are you working on? Can you just share it with us, or is it?
Hopefully,
just-
I'm gonna get back to some things. I'm behind on stuff. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know if it matters or not. I'm working on another thing with Chill Kid. It's like an industrial metal type track. So he's the heart and soul of it, and then I'm gonna do some guitars to it. It's just been crazy. I haven't had time to sit down because you can't like sit down for 5 minutes and record something. You need like an hour or two set aside so you can really get into it. And I just haven't had the time to do that. So got that going on. I'm working on another track for another good friend of all of us and Iron Age and all that good stuff. Not quite as technical and as deep as Power, but in that same kind of vein, a little bit more power metal-y. I have like the basic sketch, but that's another one that I just haven't had time to sit down. So I got to get back on it though, because I'm worried these guys are gonna be like, "Hey, my thing's ready to go. Where's that song?" And I'm gonna be like, "Dude, it's coming." It sure is.
it's on
So I
its
got to
way.
get back at it. And but hopefully I should have some time this weekend. Hopefully, finally again. So on that, I'm still trying. Eventually, my own stuff's gonna come out too. I got that songs I've done for other people album that will
That's
be out
gonna
at
be
some point.
cool.
So
Yeah.
that'll be fun to get that out. There's some other tracks on there too that are stuff that were not necessarily for other people, just things that never got released. So it'll give them a home, which will be cool. But yeah, it's about all I got. And pass it on to whoever wants to take the torch next.
It was her
Oh, of course.
idea, by the way.
What's that?
Oh,
oh,
for the
hey, there you go.
She's like, you should talk about.
She's
menstrual
filthy. Of course, it was
cycles.
her idea.
Oh, that's hilarious. But guys, I'm going to be campaigning my ass off for my book. The pre-order starts in November. It's going to be out early to mid-December. It's already done. There's nothing that needs to be done with it. Well, besides art, but the art doesn't make it in time. It's just an extra, right? But yeah, I'll be campaigning in November. If you are watching this and you have a show, you have guests, I would like to come on. Please invite me. But yeah, that Illumination Toolsmith, Tale of the Dunce Whisperer. I'll be talking about that nonstop in November. Look for it.
Sweet. Yeah.
Great
No,
project.
I'm curious if it. I'm really iffy on humor in books, so I'm curious how it's going to be. I'm very very curious. And this is the part where you're like, no, it's going to be bad. You won't like it, but
Oh, it's gonna be yeah.
And AC, what about you, man? What do you got going on?
I've been working on a brand new song called Blight for my band Empty My Lungs. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
you were redoing the audio and stuff for it, right?
Yes, sir. It's rebuilt from the ground up. We will be releasing that on Halloween.
Oh, cool.
And,
I heard the proto version from forever ago, and it's
That-
great. I love
that's
that
going to
song.
remain its own thing as a relic. We'll probably release that somewhere down the line in the future, just as a little nostalgia thing. But yeah, it's going to be the first official song in like 5-6 years, something like that, 7 years.
That's exciting, man. Very cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little
aside-
screaming, a little bit of rap rock, singing,
A little
talking,
bit,
and stuff
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys a cut tonight in the Discord.
Sick.
Yeah, I got a version right now that has both of our vocals on it, so you can kind of hear the rough takes.
Nice.
So it worked.
Good stuff.
But, yeah.
Apparently, Daniel's gonna beat Joe with both hands here soon.
Well, somebody has something to say to that.
I don't believe you.
All right, for me, I'm still working. I'm putting together. I have a basic plan for all of my manga content. Everything's going to get 1 or 2 shorts, its own video, and then several videos at the end, like going over everything. And it's going to be a very comprehensive kind of deal. But yeah, I put together a short just in the last 2 days, and I used a little musical twang there from JVP Music that he said I could use. So that was really generous of him. It's a stinger. That's what it's called. It was.
Oh
a lot
yeah, he's
of
got
work.
that Iron Age bit too that he said anyone can use.
Yeah,
Little,
that's what I used.
riff.
It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and I need to continue working on my vampire gangster 1980s music book. It's not a book. It's a short story. Me and a buddy decided to write a vampire story for October, so that's
Cool.
That's something I'm working on. It's called what is it called? The Mook and the Stripper, I think. Wait. No, the Mook and the Sucker. That's what.
That's some old timey slang I haven't heard in a long time.
It's very old timey.
Yeah. Foolish, insignificant.
He's like, I hate every one of you guys except AC. He's cool. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool.
Yeah.
Love you too. He's just mad.
Battsauce, especially fuck you.
He's just mad because I wouldn't let him get away with not talking on our show.
That is like unforgivable.
Yeah, we are gonna make our guests uncomfortable, I guess sometimes.
So be it.
Sometimes I think you've made it a goal, Joe.
So be it, man.
All right, guys. I guess I'll head us out. Thank you all for coming to the show. See us next time on Tuesday at 6:30
Multipass.
PST, the Lord's time.
Multipass.
And have a great rest of your week.
Big bada boom.
Bada boom.